Chapter 401 High Priest, what do you want from me? Lord Moro is coming directly to eat those Saiyans. Shimolika laughed. Is your boss coming? Piccolo frowned. That's right. So the life of you and this planet will end at that time. Remember to call those Saiyans back. Shimolika smiled more and more proudly. Pico bared his teeth. Kale appeared beside Son Gohan, with a worried look on his face. At the 7th moment of the galactic cycle, we will come here again. Don't run away then. Shimolika sneered. When is this? Krillin was a little puzzled. About 20 days later on Earth. Jack explained, and hurriedly said, Shimolika, I'm afraid it's too late for the 7th moment. The technology on this planet is very backward, and it will take at least a lot of time for the two of them to come back. How can they get to the 8th moment? Do you need more time? Shimolika was stunned. Okay, I'll tell Lord Moro. Jack breathed a sigh of relief. The crystal on Sebensley's forehead changed to an alien. This alien has the ability to travel through wormholes. Snap! Sebensley raised his hand, a light blue light flashed in his hand, and drew a circle in the air. Let's go! Shimolika waved goodbye to Klin and others. The three entered the wormhole and disappeared in a flash. The three of them traveled through the wormhole several times before returning to the 7th universe. Seeing that the three of them had left, Klin and others breathed a sigh of relief. That means we are saved for now. Krillin said in a deep voice, and hurried to Son Gohan's side. Are you okay, Gohan? Son Gohan got up from the ground, and he was really hurt. I'm so sorry, I don't seem to have played a big role. Son Gohan said with a guilty look on his face said. No, Gohan, Kale is injured. Krillin sighed. Many of their moves were used to attack Kale, but you blocked them all. Brother Gohan, you are so good to me. Kale was so excited that tears flowed down her face. Use senzu beans or ask Dendi to treat it later. Krillin said. Jack, when will they come next time? Piccolo asked. 2 months later. Jack replied. You actually delayed for more than a month, you did a great job, Jack. Krillin said with a smile. It's okay, because summer vacation will start next month, but how can you die after this summer vacation? Jack said seriously. Why do you, a galactic patrolman, have summer vacation? Piccolo's face darkened. The treatment of the Galactic Patrol is very good. Although there are 4 seasons in the universe, they are all simulated seasons. Jack replied, we will have summer vacation, and most patrolmen go out to travel during the summer vacation. Picker, what if there are bad guys at this time? Krillin asked. Someone is on duty. Jack replied. Everyone at the scene was speechless. The 7th universe, a planet, an alternate dimension. At this moment, Myers was eating with Sun Wukong and told him what happened on Earth. Did Moro's accomplices go to Earth? Sun Wukong was shocked. But fortunately, we have overcome the difficulties. Myers comforted. Really? So there are still 2 months before Moro goes to Earth, right? Sun Wukong said in a deep voice. Yes. Myers nodded. 2 months later, a little longer than expected. Sun Wukong said, it's equivalent to 6 months here, so we should practice hard. We must find a way to achieve the true freedom. That's right. Myers agreed. I'm full, let's get ready to practice. Sun Wukong stretched. Okay. Myers didn't object. The two walked outside. Soon, Sun Wukong and Myers came to the white land outside and started a fierce battle again. As the battle between the two continued to sublimate, the energy they burst out was also increasing. However, what Myers didn't know was that Weiss was watching them through the crystal ball at this time. And Weiss was actually at the entrance of the Temple of the King of All. Swish! Suddenly, the High Priest appeared behind Weiss. Sorry for the wait. The high priest's voice rang out. Weiss immediately looked behind him and bowed to the high priest. What's the matter, Weiss? The high priest asked with a smile. I'm sorry to bother you so suddenly. Weiss said politely. His expression became a little serious. Master High Priest, do you know that there are some problems in our universe again? Yes, the seventh universe is really busy. The High Priest nodded. I'm very sorry. Weiss saluted again. You want to talk about Mel's, right? The High Priest smiled. You really know? Weiss nodded with a heavy expression. I sent the trainee angel Mels to the seventh universe because I hope he can understand the Milky Way, understand the universe, and expand his horizons. The High Priest said, the reason why I let him join the Galactic Patrol is to let him understand good and evil, and improve his angelic power through continuous experience and achieve higher achievements. It's a pity that Mels's halo has been taken away by Luo Tian over the years. Weiss added. You are right. The High Priest nodded. I have to say that Luo Tian is indeed very talented in the cultivation of angelic power, which Mel's is far inferior to. Yes, Weiss admitted, it is said that Luo Tian's angelic power has surpassed mine. A long time ago. The High Priest replied. Weiss, oh my, this is really a headache. Weiss sighed. So, what is your purpose in looking for me? The High Priest asked again. In Mel's current situation, if there is any trouble, it may disappear immediately. Weiss said in a deep voice. That's true. The High Priest nodded. So, can you give the management of Mel's to me? Weiss asked the High Priest for his opinion. Regarding the matter of Mel's, Luo Tian has already informed me in advance, and he will be responsible. The High Priest replied. Luo Tian has already said hello? What does he want to do? Weiss was a little confused. Why do I feel Mel's is heading towards disappearing? Maybe this is exactly what Luo Tian wants. The High Priest said. Weiss, don't they have a good relationship? Weiss was speechless. In Luo Tian's words, this is called risking one's life. Maybe for Mel's, this is a kind of transformation. The High Priest put his hands behind his back and said lightly, just pretend that you didn't see what happened to Mel's. Please let us wait and see. Yes. Lord High Priest. Weiss salute again. Chapter 402 Vegeta's Strength Surges Universe 7, Yidrit. Because Yidrit is a planet outside the jurisdiction of the Galactic Patrol, Iriku has no way to get in touch with the Galactic Patrol. Iriku tried to contact the headquarters several times in the spaceship, but failed to talk to the headquarters. Swoosh! Just then, Iriku suddenly found a spaceship above Yidrit. Whose spaceship is that? Iriku was slightly stunned, and his face changed color. However, Iriku thought that Luo Tian was also on this planet, and his heart was relieved. Another direction. Vegeta was practicing under the guidance of the great elder P-Bala. Luo Tian watched from the side. Amazing, through hard practice, your Spirito has surpassed Sun Wukong, and in such a short time. P-Bala said with a smile. Of course, Kakarot and I are born different. Vegeta said with some pride. Then let me teach you more advanced abilities now. P-Bala said, and suddenly waved his hand in the air, and a stream of energy quickly covered Vegeta's body. Vegeta immediately felt his body lighten, and the fatigue was instantly swept away. Is this a healing technique? Vegeta was a little surprised. Yes, it's powerful, isn't it? P-Bala said with a smile, and turned his head to look at Luo Tian. Hehe, God Luo Tian, is this trick okay? It's okay. Luo Tian nodded in agreement. Can I learn this trick too? Vegeta asked. Ha ha ha, don't worry, this is a very difficult trick, it's too early for you. P-Bala shook his head. Then what can I learn now? Vegeta asked again. Start with the most basic foundation, that is, teleportation. P-Bala explained. Is teleportation just the basics? Vegeta wiped his sweat quietly. As he was talking, Vegeta turned his head and saw a spaceship appeared in the sky. Luo Tian waved the scepter in his hand gently. Swoosh! The spaceship lost power in the air and suddenly plunged into the jungle below, raising a large cloud of dust. P-Bala, spaceship? Vegeta frowned. They have the evil spirito on them. P-Bala said in a deep voice. It's Moro's people who are coming. Luo Tian said. Damn it! I can't forgive them. Vegeta gritted his teeth and immediately soared into the sky. As soon as Vegeta flew into the sky, he saw Irika flying towards this side. Mr. Vegeta, those are Moro's men. Irika explained. I already know, follow me. Vegeta nodded. The two flew quickly towards the direction of the spaceship. In the jungle, 3 prisoners were lying in the spaceship, and then they crawled out of it with dust on their faces. What happened? How did you fly the spaceship? Why did it suddenly fall down? The leader asked coldly. I don't know why I lost control. The companion scratched his head. Is there something strange about this planet? Another companion also said. The 3 of them rushed out of the spaceship and looked around. This is a beautiful planet full of energy. Lord Moro will definitely be very satisfied. The leader pondered. The 2 companions also nodded vigorously. While talking, Vegeta and Ilika fell from the sky and landed opposite the 3 people. He is Saganbo's men. Ilika said. We must not let this planet become Moro's food. Vegeta snorted coldly. I know you, you are the galactic patrolman who appeared on Namek. I didn't expect you to escape here. The prisoner in the lead laughed. I must report to Lord Moro. Don't even think about it. Vegeta said, stretched out a finger to the other party, and released a little energy, and was about to knock down his communicator. Boom! When Vegeta released the energy, he found that he had released a huge energy bomb. This energy bomb was so huge that it covered the opponent's body in an instant. The prisoner in the lead was swallowed by the energy bomb before he could react. The powerful energy rubbed the earth of the planet, leaving a long trace on the ground. The nearby jungle was also destroyed in an instant. When the smoke dissipated, the prisoner was blown black by the energy bomb and smoked all over. What are you doing? Ouch! The prisoner grimaced in pain and screamed. What's going on? Vegeta was stunned. Shua! At this time, Luo Tian and the great elder P-Bala also appeared at the scene. Hey, look at you! Why did you start to destroy first? P-Bala was speechless for a while, and said with some relief, fortunately, there are not many people around here. What's going on? Vegeta felt that his body had changed a lot compared to before. This is your true strength, P-Bala replied. Vegeta's eyes widened, and he became more and more shocked. Before you practiced, you couldn't use your strength to its fullest because you didn't have a good grasp of the balance between spirito and your body, P-Bala explained. It seems that you have learned quite well during this period. Luo Tian praised. That means, I am stronger now than before, right? Vegeta asked Luo Tian excitedly. Yes, I have been reborn. Luo Tian nodded. You walked too fast just now. I wanted to tell you to be careful about how to use your energy. P-Bala sighed. Vegeta, but damn, the wretched man was smoking and felt pain all over his body. Are you okay? The companion asked with concern. What are you two still in a daze? Attack me! The man was furious and shouted at his 2 companions. The 2 companions rushed towards Vegeta. Vegeta punched them one by one and directly knocked them away. The 2 drew 2 arcs in the air and were knocked high into the sky. Destruction! Vegeta waved his hand lightly, and 2 destructive energies hit the 2 people. With 2 muffled sounds, the 2 men were immediately destroyed by Vegeta's destructive energy, leaving nothing behind. What? The leader was completely stunned. After a brief shock, the prisoner immediately became furious. I won't forgive you. the prisoner said, and he immediately became ferocious and turned into a monster. Oh? Isn't this Sabo's clan? Vegeta was slightly shocked, looked at the other party, and asked, what is your relationship with Sabo? Sabo? I haven't heard of him. The prisoner snorted coldly, my current appearance means that you are finished. Chapter 403, Extreme Freedom, One step away. Stop talking nonsense, let me kill you for Lord Moro. The prisoner roared. Bang! Vegeta took the initiative to attack and punched the prisoner in the face. The prisoner's head twisted and deformed, and he rolled to the ground. Nothing more. Vegeta snorted coldly. The prisoner was trembling with fear, his face was pale. Who did you say you were going to kill just now? Vegeta chuckled. The prisoner climbed up from the ground, screamed, rushed towards Vegeta quickly, and punched him hard. Vegeta easily blocked the opponent's fist and kicked him. The prisoner was kicked out and hit a big tree behind him. The prisoner gritted his teeth, pulled the tree up from the ground, and threw it to Vegeta. Destroy! Vegeta calmly sent a destructive energy over, destroying the flying tree completely. You are not my opponent. Vegeta said lightly. The prisoner had no intention of giving up, and grabbed a huge rock from nearby, raised it high, and condensed energy on the rock. Go to hell! The prisoner threw the rock at Vegeta. Vegeta snorted coldly and kicked the flying boulder. The boulder flew backwards and hit the prisoner. The prisoner felt his mentality collapsed at that time. Why did it fly back again? Ah! The prisoner screamed and tried to control the flying boulder. He raised his hand and controlled the boulder to rush into the sky. The prisoner's eyes were bloodshot and he was ready to let the boulder hit Vegeta. Bang! Vegeta took the initiative and kicked the prisoner in the stomach. The prisoner felt as if he was exhausted and had no strength in his body. Vegeta pressed the prisoner's forehead and pushed him to the ground. The prisoner stumbled to the ground and suddenly saw the spaceship in the distance. You can't let Moro stay by his side. You'd better come back to the galaxy prison with me honestly, otherwise I will destroy you. Vegeta snorted. Don't worry, Lord Moro's next target is not here, but the Earth. The prisoner first diverted Vegeta's attention, but his eyes quietly glanced in the direction of the spaceship. What did you say? Earth? Vegeta's face sank. I know from your expression that it seems to be the planet you live on. The prisoner smiled and quietly took out the remote control to control the spaceship. Mr. Vegeta, has the Earth become Moro's target? Iriko asked with some concern. Hasn't the Earth in the 7th universe become a dead star? It shouldn't be a big problem. Vegeta pondered. They went to the Earth in the 6th universe through the connection point above the planet. Luo Tian took the scepter, glanced through the crystal ball, and gave the answer. What? Is there such a thing? Vegeta's face changed color. Goodbye. Bye. The prisoner snorted coldly, quickly jumped onto the spaceship, and controlled the spaceship through the remote control to fly into the air. The prisoner waved goodbye to Vegeta while running, his expression becoming more and more proud. That bastard! Iriko gritted his teeth. Vegeta stretched out his hand slowly, and the destructive energy in his hand condensed. However, before Vegeta could, the tower released the destructive energy. The boulder that was just thrown high into the sky by the prisoner suddenly fell from the sky. Ha ha ha, come and chase me. The prisoner was still laughing there. Just laughing, the prisoner suddenly felt that something was wrong, and quickly turned his head to look up. At this glance, the prisoner's face turned green. Boom! The boulder hit the prisoner's spaceship directly, smashing the spaceship to pieces. Originally, the boulder would not cause any damage to the spaceship. However, the prisoner gave the boulder energy, so it would destroy the spaceship. When the spaceship and the prisoner fell, the prisoner was already dead. Humph, self-destruction. Vegeta snorted. Iriko looked in the direction of the prisoner and was speechless for a while. Luo Tian still looked at all this calmly. Mr. Vegeta, what should we do now? Let's hurry back to Earth. Iliku suggested. No, at least Earth is fine now. Vegeta said lightly. Hey? Can you sense so far? Iliku was stunned, and can you sense across the universe? No, I just asked Luo Tian. Vegeta replied. Iliku had to look in the direction of Luo Tian, speechless. No time, P-Bala. Vegeta looked solemn, there's no rush to learn instant movement, teach me the moves that can fight against Moro. Okay. P-Bala did not object. The vast starry sky, the vast universe. Moro's spaceship. The news of what happened on Vegeta's side has been detected by Moro. So that's it, that guy named Vegeta has really improved his strength. Moro smiled. Did Lord Moro find him? Sagan Po asked. A team went to that planet and died. Moro smiled faintly. Is it Yukin's team? Sagan Po was stunned, how could they be killed by Vegeta? If that guy transforms, he will be very powerful. It's getting more and more interesting. Moro laughed more and more weirdly, then I will also reserve my strength to the limit before going to Earth. After a pause, Moro added, if there is a limit. Sagan Po, find more planets that meet the conditions. Moro ordered. Okay. Sagan Po responded. Time passed day by day. 2 months passed in a flash. The 7th universe, the different dimension. Mel's looked at the clock hanging on the wall and estimated the time. It's almost time, let's fight again, and then set off for Earth. Myers suggested. Okay, then I'll use the Ultra Instinct to fight this time. Sun Wukong suggested. Mel's nodded solemnly. The next moment, the two of them started a fierce battle in the different dimension. 3 minutes later. Yes, that's it, Mr. Wukong. Myers smiled. Myers, under your guidance, my Ultra Sign is finally completed. Sun Wukong nodded seriously. Not only that, Mr. Wukong is only 1 step away from the real Ultra Sign. Myers said with emotion. I feel the same way. Sun Wukong grinned. Chapter 404 Myers, can't you fight with the power of angels? It's been a great time with you. Myers said with a smile. Me too. Sun Wukong responded. Then let's challenge Moro with a good attitude. Myers suggested. Snap. As he said that, the scepter in Myers' hand immediately emerged and waved it over Sun Wukong's body. Suddenly, Sun Wukong's energy returned to its peak state, and his clothes were also brand new. Sun Wukong was stunned, scratched his head and looked at Myers. Aren't you not allowed to use the power of angels? It doesn't matter, a little bit is fine. Myers smiled. Sun Wukong, let's go. Myers called. Then, the two left the other dimension and appeared on the ground of the planet. But by the way, Myers, what will happen if you use the power of angels when fighting against Moro? Sun Wukong suddenly asked. It will disappear. Myers replied. Ah? Disappear? Sun Wukong was stunned, and asked in confusion, why is it like this? Our angels are like this. Myers sighed. Didn't Luo Tian also fight against Zamasu? Why is he fine? Sun Wukong asked curiously. He is an exception. Myers smiled. Have you ever seen angels other than Luo Tian attack others? No, to be precise, fighting with others, have you? Sun Wukong scratched his head and thought carefully, it seems that he really hasn't. Let's go. Myers suggested. Okay, then don't fight, I'll take care of the fighting. Sun Wukong's expression also became solemn. Okay. Myers said, and walked towards the spaceship. However, just after taking 2 steps, Myers suddenly took out the scepter that he had put away and spoke into it. Oh, it turns out to be so okay, I'll go right away. Mel's responded immediately. Hey? Who is it? Sun Wukong asked. It's Luo Tian, he asked me to go over. Mel's replied, well, Mr. Wukong, I'll take my leave first, you can go back by yourself on the spaceship. As he said that, Mel's tapped the scepter in his hand on the ground lightly, and his body burst into a bright light like a star. Swoosh! Mel's turned into a bright stream of light and soon disappeared without a trace. Thank you, Mel's. Sun Wukong waved goodbye to Mel's. Then, Sun Wukong planned to return to Earth. However, when Sun Wukong looked at the spaceship, he was immediately dumbfounded. Hey, no way! Let me go back to Earth alone? Sun Wukong had a headache, I don't know how to control a spaceship. After a long silence, Sun Wukong slapped his forehead. Can't I teleport? Universe 6, Earth. More and more galactic patrol spaceships landed on Earth in Universe 6. Fully armed galactic patrols came down from the spaceships. Jacob, isn't there any galactic patrol in Universe 6? Why do we have to ask people from Universe 7 to come over for support? A patrolman couldn't help asking. Originally this planet belonged to Universe 7, but it was transferred to Universe 6 for some special reasons. Jacob explained, there is no universe to punish evil and promote good. You are so right. The galactic patrolman nodded. In addition to the galactic patrolman, there were many former warriors at the scene. These included Sun Gohan, Piccolo, Kale, Tien Shinyan, Jiaozi, Krillin, Rashi, and Yamcha. Finally it's my turn to appear. Li Ping was so excited that tears were streaming down his face. Yes, if we are put into a novel if we don't appear again, will there be no role for us in the finale of the book? Jiaozi sighed. Li Ping felt sick at that time. You are so right. If we don't appear again, there will be no chance. But then again, this book is not the finale yet, right? It will take a long time to finish. Li Ping turned his head and asked Jiaozi. How do I know about this? Jiaozi shook his head. Hey, 2 new members, do your best. Jack greeted Jiaozi and Li Ping. Tisk, what new members? We are very old. Li Ping said sullenly. Li Ping, tell him that we appeared when Wukong was very young, especially you. Jiaozi said. Yes, we appeared very early. I appeared when Wukong was 12 years old. Ye Ping shouted at Jack. I showed up when Goku first came to Earth. Do you want to compete with me? Jack snorted. Ye Ping and Jiaozi were silent. This moment has finally come. Son Gohan looked up at the sky. Brother Gohan, I must beat them to pieces this time. Kair clenched his fists tightly. Moro and the others are approaching. I'm afraid they will soon reach the Earth of the 7th universe. Piccolo pondered. Goku and Vegeta haven't come back yet? Krillin asked. We have notified Goku, but we can't find Vegeta. Jack replied. Really? Krillin was slightly stunned. But they both want to defeat Moro very much. I think they will definitely come back. Jack looked solemn. While he was talking, Moro's spaceship suddenly appeared in the sky. Then, many small spaceships separated from the spaceship and flew to various parts of the world. The prisoners controlled the spaceship to kill, injure, and rob people all over the world, doing all kinds of evil. Seeing this scene, the faces of the people present and the Galactic Patrol also changed color one by one. These guys have no martial ethics and are scattered all over the world. Piccolo gritted his teeth and said. They want to rob treasures all over the world before destroying the Earth. Jack quickly reacted. So that's it. Krillin said in a deep voice. Let's deal with those scattered prisoners? Kame suggested, you stay to greet their leader. Piccolo nodded and did not object. Let's go, Krillin. Master Kame said, and jumped onto Krillin's back. Krillin rushed into the sky with Master Kame on his back. The other side are all fierce prisoners in the universe, please be careful. Son Gohan said loudly to Master Kame and the others. Got it. Krillin waved his hand. Let's go to Jiaozi. Tien Shinyan suggested. Yes. Jiaozi replied. I'm going over there. Li Ping pointed in another direction. We will divide into several teams to assist the soldiers on Earth and support them from the rear. A galactic patrol ordered. Many galactic patrols also went out and boarded the spaceship. The spaceship took off and flew to all parts of the world. Krillin and Master Kame soon found the first batch of prisoners. One of the prisoners was Krillin's old rival Yunba. Chapter 405 Is there something that can't be copied? Over there. Krillin descended from the sky with Master Kame on his back, and punched Yunba with a powerful punch. Yunba raised his hand to catch Krillin's attack, looked at him with some surprise, and said with a smile, "It's you." Krillin flew backwards and temporarily distanced himself from the other party. Master Kame slowly landed beside Krillin. "I'm different from last time. I've practiced hard." Krillin gritted his teeth and said. "Hehe, then let's fight it out here." Yunba grinned. Master Kame was slightly stunned, and his eyes immediately shifted to the three little beauties behind Yunba. It must be said that these three little beauties are pretty good looking, each with their own characteristics. Master Kame's saliva flowed down at that time. "Yunba, we are not interested in your fight, let's go somewhere else to play." The girl in the lead greeted. "Whatever you want." Yunba nodded. The three little beauties took off and flew into the distant jungle. "Master Kame, don't run. It's been a long time since I met such beautiful little beauties. It's so rare." "Master Wu Tian, this guy is not simple. Let's deal with him together," Krillin suggested. "Krillin, don't rely on Master easily. This is an opponent you have to face alone," Master Kame said with a serious look. Krillin was slightly stunned. "I'll go play with those three little beauties," Master Kame said, and immediately rushed into the jungle. Krillin, bang! Just when Krillin was a little dazed, Yunba punched Krillin on the head and knocked him out directly. Krillin hit his head against the building behind him and screamed in pain. Then, Krillin quickly rushed towards Yunba and punched and kicked him. At the same time, Son Gohan and Kale finally met their old opponent, Simolika. I saw Simolika falling from the sky and landing right in front of several people. "What? Are you the only one?" Piccolo was stunned. "Shua." While talking, Sabensly suddenly appeared behind Piccolo and Kair and grabbed their necks. "Oops." Son Gohan was shocked. "When did you?" Piccolo was stunned. "That's the ability of the invisible people. You are still so slow." Simolika laughed. "Idiot. You are careless again." Jack was really defeated by his stupid teammates. "Didn't I say to be careful? Why are you always so careless? Copied by others again. In this way, your training will be meaningless." Simolika laughed. Piccolo's face changed again and again. Kair also blushed and clenched his fists tightly. Son Gohan was furious. "Sabensly copied your current strength." Simolika sneered. "Asshole." Jack was indignant. Swoosh. Sabensly turned into a stream of light and appeared on a hilltop in an instant. Then, Sabensly put his index and middle fingers together, put them on his forehead, and began to condense the magic light cannon. "Is it Piccolo's trick again?" Jack exclaimed. "Okay, die under your own trick." Samoric smiled contemptuously. Swoosh. A spiral flame whistled in the direction of Piccolo, Kale, and others. It was the magic light cannon. Looking at the fast-moving magic light cannon, Son Gohan suddenly took a step forward and propped up a rapidly rotating circular barrier. Kale put his hand on Son Gohan's back to replenish his energy. Piccolo was not idle either. He put his index and middle fingers together, put them on his forehead, and condensed the magic light cannon. Pa! The next moment, the spiral flame released by Sebensly was blocked by the circular barrier released by Son Gohan. Shield? Jack was stunned, and let Son Goku's son appear. Son Gohan controlled the spiral shield and accelerated the rotation speed. Kale kept providing energy to Son Gohan. In this way, Son Gohan had the strength to resist Sebensly. Swish! The spiral shield controlled by Son Gohan spun rapidly in the air, and actually blocked the magic light cannon that was shot over. Take it! Piccolo had already condensed the magic light cannon and fired it fiercely. Suddenly, the magic light cannon hit the magic light cannon released by Sebensly, blocking his energy back. Sebensly was shocked. Boom! Accompanied by a loud noise that shook the earth, a large piece of the hill where Sebensly was located was knocked off. The scene was filled with smoke. When the smoke gradually dissipated, half of Sebensly's body had been knocked off. It seems that even if you have unlimited physical strength, you can't immediately restore your original appearance. Piccolo smiled lightly. How could this happen? Simolka's face changed again and again, and there was some panic in his expression. Snap! Sebensly immediately restored his body through regeneration. We have already anticipated the situation where our abilities are copied. Son Gohan said with a smile. Shut up, Sebensly didn't copy your abilities. Simolika shouted angrily. Son Gohan, you dare to say that about my brother Gohan, I will beat you to death later. Kair said angrily. Sebensly, switch to the ability of that little girl. Simolika suggested. Got it. Sebensly nodded and immediately switched to Kair's ability. Powerful energy burst out from Sebensly's body crazily. Swish, swish, swish. Sebensly condensed energy and released powerful energy to Kair, Son Gohan, Piccolo, and others. The three of them took off quickly and jumped into the sky. Swish! Son Gohan waved his hand lightly, and a deep red energy bomb flew towards Sebensly. Kale stepped on the crimson energy bomb and quickly approached the position of Sebensly. Kale was extremely fast. In a few flashes, he appeared in front of Sebensly, and pressed Sebensly's head and smashed it to the ground. Suddenly, Sebensly's head came into close contact with the ground. Kale grabbed Sebensly's ankle and kept hitting his body back and forth. For a while, Sebensly was beaten and unable to fight back. Did you notice it, Gohan? Piccolo suddenly said. What? Son Gohan was stunned. Although Sebensly copied Kala's ability, Kala's strength is much stronger than his in a real fight. Piccolo pondered. Chapter 406 Number 18 and Number 18. Attack. Ya, what did you say? Simolika was a little panicked. Ha ha ha, what an idiot. Simolika. Jack laughed excitedly, do you think you can win by copying our abilities? Shut up. I didn't copy your abilities. Simolika shouted. I'm saying it, what do you care about me? I won't shut up. Jack made a face at Simolika. Bang! Kale knocked Sebensly to the ground again and threw him into the sky. Let's start. Uncle Piccolo, Brother Gohan. Kair said to Piccolo and Son Gohan. Swish, swish, swish. The three of them gathered energy at the same time and hit Sebensly in the sky. With a loud bang, Sebensly was unfortunately hit. The next moment, Sebensly fell from the sky, with one arm broken, his head tilted, and he almost fainted. Did it work? Son Gohan pondered. Not enough. If we don't get rid of him quickly, this guy will use the power of Moro again. Piccolo's expression became serious. Simolika quickly appeared beside Sebensly and called out to him, Sebensly, use the power of Moro quickly, otherwise it will be too late. Snap! The crystal on Sebensly's forehead immediately switched to the head of Moro. Go ahead, take away their energy. Simolika gritted his teeth and issued an order to Sebensly. Sebensly had nothing to hesitate about, and immediately stretched out his hand, intending to absorb the energy of Piccolo and others. Swish! Swish! Just then, two figures came quickly from a distance and rushed towards Sebensly. Sebensly was slightly stunned. Simolika was also a little confused, his eyes widened, and he was at a loss for a moment. Bang! Bang! The two figures kicked Simolika and Sebensly in the face, knocking them to the ground. The two slowly fell down and appeared opposite them. Ah! Simolika screamed in pain, staring at the two people who appeared. Who are you? Who is that Sai? What guy? Is he the one I hit face to face? Number 17 asked with a smile. I heard it was an expressionless guy, it should be him. Number 18 stroked his hair. What? Isn't this already very weak? Number 17 was a little disappointed, and turned his head to look at Piccolo who flew over. Hey, Piccolo, such a weak guy, don't need us? No, the battle from now on needs you. Piccolo smiled slightly, it must be an artificial talent without chi. No chi? What do you mean? Simolika was a little confused. Yet if it's a cyborg, it doesn't have the energy that cyborg can absorb. You're so thoughtful. Piccolo. Jack praised. This time, in order to fight against Moro, Piccolo specially called number 17 and number 18 over. Number 16 helped number 17 guard the Wild Island, so he didn't come. Number 21 was taking care of the children at home, so he didn't come either. Uncle Piccolo, should we call Goten, Trunks, and Calorie over? Son Gohan suggested. Don't let those three troublesome guys come over. Piccolo shook his head, if they come over, who knows what kind of trouble they might cause. Piccolo was really defeated by Calorie and the other three. Those three guys only know how to play, and they don't know how to fight properly. So it was the right choice not to bring them over. Let's get rid of them here quickly. Number 17 said with a smile, although I don't like the way of fighting with the majority, but we can't let them do whatever they want on Earth. And this time the Universal Capsule Group has taken out 10 million as a reward for the battle. Hurry up and get the money after the battle. Number 18 laughed. Number 17, number 18, your strength has improved a lot. Piccolo said with emotion. Of course, we are also practicing normally. Number 17 said with a smile, now even if I meet a complete Cell alone, I can beat him to his knees and beg for mercy. Me too. Number 18 responded. Big didn't answer. Can you two stop bragging? If you brag too much and get slapped in the face later, it won't be fun. Sai Bensley and Simolika have already climbed up from the ground and looked at them with gritted teeth. High in the sky. Moro's spaceship. Moro is also looking down. After seeing such a scene, Moro felt a little unhappy and snorted coldly, what a shame. Although I don't have much hope, these guys are really useless. I'm very sorry, I don't know when Earth has gathered such powerful warriors. Saganpo said apologetically. This is not the Earth of that universe, so it's normal that your information is lagging behind. Moro replied lightly. It's not the Earth of that universe? What does Lord Moro mean by this? Saganpo was stunned. The previous universe belonged to the 7th universe, and this universe should be the mirror universe of the 7th universe, probably the 6th universe. Moro sneered, this is the Earth of the 6th universe, not the Earth of the 7th universe. Really? It seems quite profound. Saganpo nodded thoughtfully. But it's good this way, otherwise there would be no point in coming here from afar. Moro smiled lightly, then which guy should we start eating first? The 7th universe, Yadrit. Vegeta is still undergoing special training under the guidance of Elder P. Bala. Luo Tian took the scepter and looked into the crystal ball. Luo Tian, what's going on? Vegeta asked suddenly. They have arrived on Earth, Luo Tian replied. Damn, wait a minute. Even if I go now, it won't be of much use. I have to wait until I finish learning the moves. Vegeta gritted his teeth and said. Fortunately, Moro has not made a move yet. Luo Tian smiled. That's good. Vegeta nodded vigorously, and said to P-Bala, please do it again. The sixth universe, Earth. Qi Yuan Zhan. Krillin waved his hands violently, and one Qi Yuan Zhan after another slashed towards Yunba on the opposite side. Looking at the Qi Yuan Zhan coming at a high speed, Yunba quickly rolled his body into a ball and spun rapidly on the spot. Yunba's rotation speed was extremely fast, and when it hit the Qi Yuan Zhan, it directly bounced the Qi Yuan Zhan away. As long as the rotation speed is fast enough, faster than the rotation speed of the Qi Yuan Zhan, the Qi Yuan Zhan can be knocked away. Seeing that his Qi Yuan Zhan, which had been tried and tested many times, was actually cracked, Krillin's face became extremely ugly. My Qi Yuan Zhan once killed Nappa and Frisia. Although Frisia was not killed by me, but he learned my Qi Yuan Zhan and got himself into trouble. Chapter 407 Three Exotic Little Beauties. Bang! Yunba kicked Krillin and gave him a combination of punches in the air. With a loud bang, Krillin fell from the air, leaving a hole on the ground. He. Yunba grinned. However, while laughing, Yunba found that the little bald man stretched out an arm from the pit and hooked his finger in his direction. Yunba was stunned for a moment, a little confused. But then, Yunba suddenly felt a sharp momentum whistling from behind. Yunba subconsciously dodged to the side. Swish! Qi Yuan Zhan brushed Yunba's cheek and flew into the sky. Yunba was scared and sweated. Almost his head was cut off. Klin jumped out of the pit, gritted his teeth to control the flying Qi Yuan Zhan, and called to Yunba. Yunba immediately took off into the air and avoided the attack of Qi Yuan Zhan. Qi Yuan Zhan continued to whistle in the direction of Klin. Ha ha ha, idiot, kill yourself. Yunba laughed. However, when Qi Yuan Zhan and Krillin's body came into contact, Krillin's body suddenly became illusory. What's going on? Yunba asked in surprise. I'm here. Krillin's voice sounded behind Yunba, and he condensed energy. The move just now is called the afterimage fist, you remember it? Yunba's face instantly became ugly. Kameha Kigong Wave. The huge energy condensed by Krillin quickly covered Yunba's body. Yunba had nowhere to hide, he screamed and fell from the sky. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang, Yunba was smashed into a big pit, and when the smoke gradually dissipated, he had completely fainted. Krillin breathed a sigh of relief and wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. Finally solved it, can I ask you for the next step? Krillin turned his head and called to the two galactic patrolmen. Okay, we will take responsibility and send him back to the galactic prison. The two galactic patrolmen bowed to Krillin and expressed their deep gratitude. Wow! Where are you looking at the mystery? Just then, Krillin suddenly heard a girl's sharp scream from the woods in the distance, with anger in her voice. Krillin turned his head and looked in that direction. You dead pervert! Another girl shouted loudly. Bang! The next moment, Krillin found that Master Kame flew out of the woods and rolled several times on the ground. It hurts. Master Kame rubbed his face, these girls are really fierce. Teacher Wu Tian, are you okay? Krillin landed beside Master Kame and asked with some concern. Oh? Krillin. Master Kame sighed, what a strong enemy, I can't touch him at all. No, my attack can't hit him at all. Krillin, don't take it lightly. Master Kame said again. While talking, the three exotic beauties came out of the jungle aggressively. One of the beauties had her clothes torn off. Krillin looked carefully and his face flushed. This old pervert! Dare to peek at us! You're dead! The leading girl shouted angrily. Let me take a good look again, even if you beat me to death, I have no complaints. Master Kame grinned. Krillin didn't want to talk anymore, and quietly wiped his sweat aside. Master Kame took out a piece of black ribbon from his body and tied it around his eyes. Teacher Wu Tian, what are you doing? Krillin was a little confused. No, teacher, I see that they always have special ideas. Master Kame sighed, so it's better to cover your eyes. Does it feel better to touch with your eyes covered? Krillin asked. Master Kame, what you said seems to make sense, but don't disturb my mood. Master Kame scolded unhappily. What kind of master you have, what kind of apprentice you have? The three little beauties were so angry that they trembled all over, and they wanted to press their master and apprentice to the ground and rub them hard. The three little beauties stopped talking nonsense, rushed towards Master Kame quickly, and launched a fierce attack on him. Although Master Kame was blindfolded, he still captured all the movements of the three little beauties. Snap! Master Kame dodged the attacks of the two little beauties, and grabbed the thigh of one of the little beauties and rubbed it in his hand. What is this position? Asked Master Kame. Let me go. You bastard! The beautiful girl was furious. Go! Master Kame waved his hand fiercely and slapped the beautiful girl's thigh heavily. The sound was so crisp. Master Kame even put his hand to the tip of his nose and smelled it. It smells so good. Master Kame commented. This bastard! The beautiful girl was furious and quickly broke free. What's wrong with this old man? Why did he become more powerful after covering his eyes? The little beautiful girl in the lead was terrified. Girls! If you do bad things, you will be punished one day. Don't add to your sins. Master Kame advised earnestly, go back to the galaxy prison honestly. There is a place for you to atone for your sins. You should be grateful. What a joke, we won't go back to that kind of place. The little beautiful girl in the lead shouted sternly. The reason I blindfolded myself to deal with you is because I can concentrate more. Said Master Kame with a smile. Let's use that trick, big sister. One of the little beauties suddenly said. Okay, let him see how powerful we are. Another little beauty nodded. The three little beauties no longer hesitated, and their bodies quickly overlapped. In just a blink of an eye, the three little beauties merged into a fat woman with a fat head and big ears. The fat woman was tall and strong, with a ferocious smile. Krillin was shocked at the time. Master Kame seemed to realize something, and quickly took off the blindfold. When he looked up, his face instantly became extremely ugly. It's not cute at all. Master Kame exclaimed. This is bad. Krillin was shocked. Bang! The fused fat beauty punched Krillin hard. Krillin's body flew backwards and plunged into the ground in the distance. Krillin! Kame Sr. exclaimed. Bang! The fat beauty kicked Kame Sr. again and kicked him deep into the jungle. Teacher Mutant! Krillin got up from the ground firmly and looked in the direction of Kame Sr. It hurts so much. Kame Sr. rubbed his head and felt sick. Chapter 408 You Rusty Iron Hammer. On the other side, Tien Shinyan and Jiaozi cooperated with each other and launched a fierce attack on a metal man. Tien Shinyan punched the metal man in the chest with a heavy punch. The metal man was so angry that he was beaten by a raging fire. He made strange noises, but it didn't seem to hurt. Tien Shinyan felt the intense pain from his fist. What's wrong with this guy? He's too hard. Tien Shinyan said in a deep voice, cold sweat dripping down his face. Brother Tien, your attack has no effect. Jiaozi's face became more and more serious. He is a metal man, and his body is made of super hard metal. A galactic patrol explained on the side. Metal man? Tien Shinyan was stunned. I remember, his weakness seems to be that his self-esteem is particularly weak, and he may lose his fighting power as long as he is scolded. Another galactic patrol said hurriedly. Scold? Tien Shinyan was slightly startled, his expression a little unnatural. Am I going to scold him to win? It's wrong for the Galactic Patrol to scold. This guy is left to you too. Scold him to death. The Galactic Patrol said hurriedly. Tian Xinyan, are we still doing the scolding? Bang! The metal man also quickly attacked Tian Xinyan and punched him hard. Tian Xinyan immediately jumped up into the sky, looking down at the metal man, and said with gritted teeth, I'm going to start swearing. Be careful. The metal man's face turned black. You stonehead! Tian Xinyan shouted loudly. The metal man, Brother Tian, the metal man's head is harder than stone. You said he has a stone head, which is not a curse. Jiaozi shook his head. What you said makes sense. Tian Xinyan nodded, and gritted his teeth again, you 500 jin fat man. The metal man weighs much more than 500 jin. A galactic patrol explained on the side, at least tens of thousands of jin. Another galactic patrol nodded vigorously on the side. Asshole! I don't know how to swear. Tian Xinyan felt a little speechless. The metal man took the opportunity to launch a fierce attack on Tian Xinyan. Hey, you brainless bald head! Just then, Jiaozi's voice sounded lightly from behind the metal man. The metal man immediately turned his head and glared at Jiaozi. Who is this guy? Why is he cursing so badly? Pft, pft, pft. Jiaozi not only cursed, but also spit at the metal man. The metal man was furious and rushed towards Jiaozi. This guy is still good at cursing. A galactic patrolman praised. You rusty iron hammer! Jiaozi shouted at the metal man who rushed up. The metal man's soul seemed to be severely hit. He was immediately stunned and stagnated at the scene. Green smoke came out of his body. Pa! The metal man fell to the ground, his body twitching constantly, and he had lost the ability to resist. Tian Xinyan was speechless. Brother Tian, your level of cursing is too poor. Jiaozi sighed. Tian Xinyan, on Piccolo and Sun Gohan's side, number 17 and number 18 were still beating up Sebensli and Simolika. Sebensli and Simolika were no match at all and were beaten back step by step. Bang! Number 17 kicked Sebensli hard, sending Sebensli flying backwards. It's over, get ready to die. Number 17 said, gathering energy in his hands, about to tear Seed apart. However, at this critical moment, Moro suddenly appeared beside Sebensli, caught him, and grabbed his head. It's Moro! Seeing the sudden appearance of Moro, Jack exclaimed, his face stern. Everyone present also looked extremely solemn. This guy Moro finally showed up. Jack gritted his teeth. Is he their boss Moro? Piccolo said in a deep voice. Hey, Sebensli, didn't I tell you? Don't use my ability easily. Moro said with a smile. Sebensli looked seriously injured and could no longer speak. I'm sorry Lord Moro, in order to fight them, I can only. Simolika also staggered over and said to Moro with an apologetic look. This kid's ability will be useful sooner or later, let him recover his strength. Moro casually threw Sebensli to Simolika. Yes. Yes. Simolika hurriedly responded respectfully. Take him back to the spaceship. Saganpo also flew down from the air and ordered Simolika. Okay. Simolika immediately took Sebensli into the air. Seeing the two men leave so swaggeringly, Piccolo and others first looked at the appearing Moro with caution, and then looked at the escaping Simolika, wanting to chase but not daring to chase. Is it okay? He escaped. Number 17 asked. This guy is the real Moro, and he is completely different from what I imagined. Piccolo's face changed again and again. What a terrible aura, as if countless people are wailing. Son Gohan said in a deep voice. I feel the same way, brother Gohan. His aura is very evil. Kale clenched his fists tightly. Because his body is covered with the aura of the people who were killed. Energy, so I feel this way. Jack said with gritted teeth. Have those two come? The one called Son Goku and Vegeta? Moro asked with a smile. Dad and the others will definitely come back to defeat you after training. Son Gohan said loudly, our mission is to protect the Earth until they come back. Really? That's great. Moro chuckled, you have good momentum, don't be nervous, relax, I'm in a good mood now. What do you mean? Son Gohan asked. Because I found that this planet has gathered so many humans with powerful energy. Such a planet is rare. Moro said with a smile, if I eat them all in one go, I even feel a little bit of a pity. I'm thinking about how to eat you better. It's best not to waste. This disgusting guy. Number 18 frowned. Lord Moro, can you hand them over to me? Saganbo stepped forward and said respectfully to Moro. Moro glanced at Saganbo. Please. Saganbo bowed. Go. Moro nodded in agreement, but you can't kill them, I want to eat their life energy. I understand. Saganbo nodded and walked towards Piccolo and others. Chapter 409A Destruction, Vanished. Saganbo groaned at the time, feeling that his body was filled with explosive power. Bang! Saganbo's energy exploded, directly shaking the prisoner's uniform to pieces, revealing his strong muscles. Saganbo grinned, his eyes full of evil. His energy has increased a lot. What's going on? Son Gohan exclaimed. Can Moro still give his energy to others? Jack's face turned ugly. Thank you, Lord Moro. Saganpo said with a smile. Go ahead. Moro called out to Saganpo. Swoosh! Saganpo quickly rushed up and launched a fierce attack on the location where Kair and others were. Let me do it. Kair took a step forward, with yellow-green flames blooming on his body, and lightning wrapped around his body. Then, Kair condensed a ball of destructive energy in his hand and quickly covered the rushing Saganpo. Get out of the way! Moro hurriedly said. What? Saganpo was stunned, and then grinned, Humph, just a trick, watch me smash this thing. Pa! As he said that, Saganpo slapped the destructive energy released by Kair. However, when Saganpo came into contact with the destructive energy, he felt the breath of death brought by the destructive energy. Not good. Saganpo was horrified and wanted to take his hand back. However, it was too late. The destructive energy quickly disintegrated Saganpo's right hand, and his body also quickly dissipated. In just a blink of an eye, Saganpo's body completely disappeared into nothingness. It's worthy of being Kale. Son Gohan said excitedly. If it weren't for the destruction, it would have been a fierce battle. Piccolo sighed. Saganpo was killed so easily by her? Jack was stunned. Mara's face suddenly became extremely ugly. Is this guy really the boss of all the prisoners? The death is too random. And it's so stupid. Didn't I ask him to get out of the way? Mara, it seems that your minions are nothing special. Number 17 snorted and sneered. Moro narrowed his eyes and looked extremely ugly. Next, before Goku and Vegeta come back, let us take care of you. Number 17 stepped forward. In the distant forest, Krillin pulled Master Kame behind a rock to hide. The tall and fat woman was searching for the two of them. No, my strength has reached its limit. Master Kame sighed. Damn it, it seems that I can only fight to the death. Krillin gritted his teeth, Goku, come back quickly. We need you. Pa. As he said that, Krillin immediately took off and rushed towards the fat woman. Krillin, you are courting death. You can't beat her! Exclaimed Master Kame. Krillin had already rushed to the fat woman and punched her hard. The fat woman raised her hand slightly and caught Krillin's fist. Then, the fat woman showed a grim smile, clenched her fist, and smashed it on Krillin's head. Shua! At this critical moment, Sun Wukong appeared beside Krillin in just a moment, and stretched out a finger to catch the fat woman's fist. Wukong? Krillin was surprised and happy. Sorry, I'm late. Sun Wukong smiled at Krillin. Who? Who are you? The fat woman was furious, and once again increased the force of the attack, punching Sun Wukong fiercely. Bang! Sun Wukong waved his hand in the air and directly knocked the fat woman away. The fat woman rolled to the ground, and her body quickly dissolved and turned into three little beauties. Wukong, you are finally here. Master Roshi stood up and sighed. Krillin, Grandpa, I'm leaving first to help Gohan and the others. Sun Wukong said to Krillin. Lin and Kame said. Go quickly, go. Kame agreed readily, ran to the three little beauties quickly, and took the opportunity to do something excessive to them. Krillin, Sun Wukong said no more, and used instant movement again, appearing near Moro in an instant. Wukong. Piccolo was surprised and happy. Dad. Son Gohan also exclaimed. Sorry, I'm late. Sun Wukong waved his hand. Sun Wukong, you came at the right time. Moro looked at Sun Wukong with a smile. Did Kai'er destroy that person just now? It's amazing. Sun Wukong nodded to Kai'er. Kai'er scratched his head embarrassedly and didn't answer. Not bad, you seem to have become much stronger. Moro looked at Sun Wukong and said. Yes, I'm completely different from before. Sun Wukong smiled. Really? What's the difference? Moro smiled contemptuously. Hurry up and show the results of your practice. Okay, then I'll show you my true strength. Sun Wukong took a deep breath, and his body immediately burst into a bright light like a star. Ultra Free Sign. Activate. After seeing the strange energy that Sun Wukong burst out, Moro's face became a little solemn, and he said in a deep voice, This is not a human trick, right? Yes, this is a skill of God. Ultra Free Sign. Sun Wukong answered truthfully. It's been a long time since I saw my father use Ultra Free. Sun Gohan sighed. That's because his Ultra Free Sign is not stable enough, so it has not been used. Piccolo analyzed. Uncle Goku is using Ultra Free now, has it reached the level of perfection? Kai'er asked. It seems so. Piccolo nodded gently. Seeing Sun Wukong display his ultimate freedom, Moro immediately became alert and said in a deep voice, I didn't expect you to use a god's trick. It's beyond my expectation. Sun Wukong immediately took a fighting stance and said expressionlessly, I'm going to attack, Moro. Come on, Sun Wukong. Moro said indifferently. Bang! Sun Wukong punched through the air, and the strong wind pressure hit Moro's shoulder directly. Suddenly, a puff of white smoke came out of Moro's shoulder, and a lot of hair on his body fell off. Moro looked at his shoulder and said nothing. Sun Wukong waved his fist again, and the strong wind pressure launched a fierce attack on Moro. Moro seemed to be hurt, gritted his teeth and resisted for a moment, then raised his arm to resist Sun Wukong's wind pressure attack. Is Wukong attacking? Piccolo asked. Chapter 410, Ultra Instinct Sign, Activate. It's probably a kind of wind pressure. Jack answered, use your fist to drive the wind to form pressure to attack. Piccolo looked in Jack's direction. Uncle Piccolo, I heard that Jack's eyes are very similar to the compound eyes of flies, so he can see details that are difficult for us to capture. Son Gohan explained. I see. Piccolo suddenly realized. Idiot. It's a bee, not a fly. Jack was anxious and corrected loudly. It seems to be a compound eye, right? Son Gohan scratched his head and asked. Don't associate me with disgusting animals like flies. Jack shouted angrily. Son Gohan, Sun Wukong was still beating Moro with wind pressure. Moro was beaten and slid backwards, his feet rubbing against the ground, leaving 2 long marks on the ground. Using such a clever trick. Moro snorted coldly and suddenly raised his hand. Suddenly, a ball of fire from deep in the earth quickly covered the position where Sun Wukong was. Sun Wukong reacted very quickly and rushed into the sky immediately. Moro's eyes also immediately captured Sun Wukong's position, and he casually released several energy bombs to hit Sun Wukong in the sky. Sun Wukong dodged the attack of the energy bomb, swooped down from the air, and punched Moro hard. Moro crossed his arms to block Sun Wukong's attacking fist. Sun Wukong immediately changed his body, appeared behind Moro, and kicked him in the chest. Moro felt a little pain. Sun Wukong launched a fierce attack on Moro again, with faster and faster speed and higher power. Is the characteristic of this move that it is extremely fast? Moro was unable to resist Sun Wukong's attack. The magic power in his hand suddenly flashed a few times, and suddenly sealed Sun Wukong's hands and feet. He sneered, "Your movements are blocked now, right?" Sun Wukong was slightly startled. Bang! Moro kicked over and kicked Sun Wukong backwards. Energy surged from Sun Wukong's body, breaking Moro's restraint on him. When he was about to approach the ground, his figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. In just a moment, Sun Wukong returned to Moro's back. "You used magic just now, right?" Sun Wukong asked. "That's just one of my many moves. Just one of them." Moro smiled lightly. Swish! Moro waved his hand in the air, and a golden lightning quickly covered the position where Sun Wukong was. Sun Wukong jumped and dodged hurriedly, avoiding the attack of lightning. After a few flashes, Sun Wukong appeared near where Sun Gohan and others were. "Stay away, so that I can fight with more confidence." Sun Wukong called to Sun Gohan and others. "Okay, Dad, you don't have to worry about the damage to the earth, just go ahead." Sun Gohan nodded. "All the Dragon Balls on the earth have been collected and placed with Dendi. As long as there are Dragon Balls, everything can be restored." "Got it." Sun Wukong nodded with satisfaction. Sun Wuhan, Piccolo, Kale, and others no longer hesitated and immediately retreated, keeping a distance from this side. Sun Wukong stepped forward again and dodged the lightning released by Moro. Shua! Sun Wukong flashed and quickly appeared in front of Moro, and gathered energy with both hands. Came haha! Sun Wukong released a Qigong wave towards Mo Luo. Mo Luo was slightly startled and quickly raised his hand to catch the Qigong wave that Sun Wukong attacked. The energy at the scene became more and more huge. Then, Sun Wukong and Mo Luo started a fierce battle in the air. After several rounds of fighting, Sun Wukong kicked Mo Luo's back fiercely and kicked him down from the air. As he fell, Mo Luo waved his hand in the air, controlled Sun Wukong's body, and led him to fall downwards. Sun Wukong immediately burst out with powerful divine power, freeing himself from the restraints brought by the opponent's magic power. Bang bang bang! Sun Wukong waved his fist again and again, and the wind from his fist hit Moro's body. Moro screamed in pain. At the same time, Sun Wukong was getting closer and closer to Moro, and punched him in the abdomen. Moro was not far behind, and hit Sun Wukong in the stomach with an uppercut. Both of them separated, holding their stomachs, and fell to the ground. The two looked at each other, rushed towards each other again, and started a new round of battle. Is Moro's strength about the same as Dad's? Sun Wuhan turned his head and asked Piccolo. No, Goku's speed is obviously superior. Piccolo pondered. Do you think he can win? Number 17 asked. No, Moro still has the trick of absorbing energy that has not been used. Pico shook his head. At this time, Sun Wukong knocked Moro to the ground again and swooped down at him from the air. Moro saw that the situation was not good, and immediately raised his hand to absorb Sun Wukong's energy. He is going to absorb energy! Jack exclaimed. Sun Wukong saw that the situation was not good, and immediately disappeared from the spot. Moro was shocked, and the little energy he had just absorbed also dissipated at once. In just a blink of an eye, Sun Wukong had already appeared behind Moro and punched him hard on the head. Moro grabbed Sun Wukong's arm, threw him out suddenly, opened his 5 fingers, and tried to absorb Sun Wukong's energy again. Sun Wukong's figure shook and disappeared strangely. Moro, it's true. Moro suddenly realized and had seen through what Sun Wukong meant. I understand, Dad's high-speed movement is to avoid being absorbed by energy. Sun Gohan suddenly realized. Without absorbing energy, Moro has no way to defeat Uncle Goku. Kair nodded. Is this method reliable? Piccolo pondered. Maybe it's reliable, I don't think it's a big problem. Jack said excitedly. As long as the energy is not absorbed, Dad can definitely defeat him. Sun Gohan said with a smile. Maybe I can win. Piccolo nodded slightly. Son Goku was still launching a fierce attack on Moro. Moro was beaten back and forth, and it seemed difficult to resist. After all, Sun Wukong used the Ultra Sign of Freedom, which made Moro a little overwhelmed. Bang! Bang! Sun Wukong hit Moro hard with 2 consecutive heavy blows. Sun Wukong took a deep breath, and the bright flames on his body became more intense. Bang! The next moment, Sun Wukong rushed forward and kicked down Mo Luo, who had just stood up. Mo Luo immediately stood up with a carp, his eyes full of anger. Sun Wukong chased him again. Pa! Mo Luo raised his hand fiercely, and a ball of fire rushed up from the depths of the earth, blocking Sun Wukong's way forward. Chapter 411 Go to Earth to eat barbecue. What's wrong? You seem to be in a hurry to decide the winner. Mo Luo chuckled, maybe you are trying to avoid being absorbed by energy and want to restrain my ability. But you may be wrong. What do you mean? Sun Wukong was stunned. I eat energy to fill my stomach. Mo Luo smiled, my opponent becomes weaker and I become stronger, this is not the result I want to see. Sun Wukong frowned. So I will slowly eat your energy when you can't move. Mo Luo smiled. Can't move? Sun Wukong pondered. Do you think this is all my strength? You idiot. Moro smiled softly. Boom. More and more energy suddenly emerged from Moro's body, and the vast aura was as strong as was the center, and it spread wildly around. After sensing the powerful breath of Moro, Sun Wukong's face became a little solemn. A large cloud of dust and smoke rose at the scene. The smoke gradually dissipated, and a dark golden light appeared on Moro's body. Sun Wukong was shocked. Do you know how many planets I have eaten during this period? Moro sneered, I have obtained the power above God. This energy. Sun Wuhan's face also became extremely ugly. It's so terrible. It has surpassed my energy. Kair said in a deep voice. It's really a terrible breath. Piccolo said in a deep voice. Swish. Moro waved his hand, and a ball of purple energy whistled towards the position where Sun Wukong was. Sun Wukong waved his hand fiercely and slapped the ball of energy away. However, the next moment, Moro's figure flashed and appeared behind Sun Wukong, and hugged him. Let go. Sun Wukong struggled desperately, but to no avail. Then, Mo Luo grabbed Sun Wukong's head and smashed it forward. Boom! Sun Wukong plunged headfirst into the cliff behind him, raising a large cloud of dust. How is it? Mo Luo sneered. Sun Wukong slowly walked out of the dust and looked at Mo Luo with a smile. You can still laugh. Mo Luo snorted. In that case, I will fight you with all my strength. Sun Wukong took a deep breath, and a bright light emerged from his body again. It's getting more and more interesting. I thought you were just this level. Mo Luo smiled lightly. Both of them exploded their own energy to the extreme, and the huge energy collided with each other. The next moment, Sun Wukong's body once again burst out a huge angel power. The powerful breath immediately shocked Mo Luo and sent him flying backwards. As Moro flew backwards, he immediately raised his right hand high, and a ball of energy appeared in his hand. Sun Wukong rushed over and kicked the energy condensed by Moro into the sky. Bang! Sun Wukong hit Moro's body with a fierce elbow and hit him into the sky again. Then, Sun Wukong soared into the sky and appeared right above Moro. He stepped on Moro's body and caused his body to fall downward. Seeing that Moro was about to fall to the ground, Moro grabbed Sun Wukong's calf and smashed it hard. Bang! Sun Wukong was knocked to the ground and screamed. Moro grabbed Sun Wukong's calf again and smashed it in another direction. Sun Wukong's reaction was also very fast. He adjusted his body and exerted force on his calf, throwing Moro away in an instant. Moro's body rolled several times in the air and his feet landed on the ground. However, just as Moro stopped, he found that several energy bombs were coming towards him. Moro crossed his arms and blocked the attack of the energy bombs. Sun Wukong threw energy bombs at Moro like they were free. Moro screamed and let the energy bombs hit him, and rushed towards Sun Wukong. Bang! Moro threw a powerful punch at Sun Wukong, but Sun Wukong caught it with his teeth. Bang bang bang! The two of them fought fiercely on the ground again. The next moment, their hands crossed and competed with each other in strength. Sun Wukong immediately retracted his hands, punched Moro in the face again, and kicked him hard in the abdomen. Bang! Moro flew backwards and hit the ground behind him, causing a storm. Hoo hoo hoo! Sun Wukong gasped for air and felt exhausted. This is also the longest time that Sun Wukong has ever used Ultra Instinct to fight. Moro got up from the ground with a faint smile on his face, looking at Sun Wukong and said, "Maybe I am a little too cautious. If all your energy is only this level, then I will not lose." Damn! How strong is your body? Sun Wukong felt a headache. Universe 7, Yidrit. Vegeta's ongoing special training is finally coming to an end. Is it okay now? Vegeta asked hurriedly. Vegeta, you finally learned it. P-Bala nodded with satisfaction. Okay. Vegeta breathed a sigh of relief and asked Luo Tian, when are we going back? No hurry, wait for someone. Luo Tian smiled. Wait for someone? Vegeta was stunned. I'll be there soon. Luo Tian smiled slightly. Swoosh. Suddenly, a stream of light as bright as a star whizzed towards this side. The next moment, Mel's fell from the sky and landed beside Luo Tian. Mel's? Vegeta was slightly stunned. This isn't this Mel's? Did you fly here? What are you wearing? Iliku was stunned. You are finally here. Luo Tian greeted with a smile. Yes. After all, it takes a while to fly here. Mel's responded, and said to Iliku, Hello, Iliku, let's talk about me later. Iliku looked at Mel's in surprise, unable to say anything. Have you brought all the things I asked you to bring? Luo Tian asked again. I have brought them. Mel's replied, waving the scepter in his hand. Snap! A set of barbecue utensils immediately appeared on the scene. There were barbecue grills and skewers, as well as charcoal, cumin, chili powder, oil, etc. Luo Tian, why did you let me bring this thing? Mel's was a little puzzled. You will know soon. Luo Tian grinned. I don't understand what you want to do. Mel's didn't understand Luo Tian's routine at all. Vegeta also looked over there, showing a confused look. Chapter 412 You made me have fun. Yes, you can go back. Luo Tian nodded gently. Mers, isn't it I just came here, and now I have to go to Earth again? Mirrors was speechless. Yes. Luo Tian replied. Then why don't you just let me take the equipment to Earth? Mirrors wiped his sweat. This will be more ceremonial. Luo Tian smiled slightly. I can't care so much, let's go back to Earth quickly. Vegeta urged. From here to Earth, at my speed, it will take at least 10 minutes. Luo Tian pondered, I'm afraid Gaku can't hold on that long. What? It takes so long? Vegeta was speechless. 10 minutes is already very fast, after all, we angels can't use teleportation. Mirrors explained. Vegeta, P-Bala, don't you know how to teleport? Take me to Earth immediately. Vegeta turned his head and looked at P-Bala. Hey? I can't go to Earth. P-Bala shook his head. Why? Vegeta was stunned. We Adrid people are forbidden to use teleportation to leave this planet. P-Bala explained. What did you say? Vegeta was speechless. You didn't just ban it, did you? Myers leaned close to Luo Tian's ear and asked in a low voice. Myers, there is a saying that you see through but don't say it. Luo Tian glanced at Myers. Myers, and our teleportation can only move to people we have met before, that is, we have to know his spirito. P-Bala added. Haven't you seen Kakarot? Vegeta asked. Indeed, we know Sun Wukong's spirito, but he should be fighting in the 6th universe now. Although the two planets have a connection point, his spirito can't be sensed at all. P-Bala shook his head helplessly. I know the reason, that guy used the ultimate freedom. Vegeta suddenly realized, the breath of God cannot be sensed by people who are not gods. Mr. Vegeta, what should we do? Illico asked anxiously, let Mr. Luo Tian and Mels take us there? No, teach me how to use teleportation right away. Vegeta said to P-Bala. Now? P-Bala was stunned and looked in the direction of Luo Tian. Luo Tian nodded slightly. I will learn to teleport in the shortest time. Vegeta gritted his teeth. I don't know if it's possible to move across the universe, but I think it shouldn't be a big problem, as long as I can sense the air. P-Bala groaned. The 6th universe, Earth. Sun Wukong was still fighting fiercely with Moro. As the battle continued, Sun Wukong's endurance obviously decreased a lot. After several rounds of fighting, Moro kicked Sun Wukong to the ground. Sun Wukong was in pain and sweat broke out on his face. How is it? Is your high-speed movement gone? Moro chuckled and said sarcastically. Sun Wukong gritted his teeth and stood up, punching Moro again. Moro dodged easily and kicked Sun Wukong in the face. Sun Wukong's body rubbed against the ground and slid away. But soon, Sun Wukong adjusted his body immediately, stood up, and gasped heavily. It seems that you have reached your limit. Moro floated in the air, looking at Sun Wukong with a smile. To be honest, I'm quite surprised that you can cultivate your strength to this level. It's not over yet. Sun Wukong snorted, and a stream of light as bright as stars appeared on his body again. Swish! Sun Wukong rushed towards Moro and hit Moro's face with a heavy elbow. Moro's body leaned back, but soon he opened his mouth wide, condensed energy in his mouth and fired, hitting Sun Wukong's body. Sun Wukong was covered by the energy at that time, and his body flew backwards. Bang! Sun Wukong fell heavily to the ground, and the bright light on his body suddenly dissipated. When he looked again, Sun Wukong had returned to normal. Moro fell from the sky, stepped on Sun Wukong's stomach, and stepped heavily on the ground. Ah! Sun Wukong screamed, blood spurted out of his mouth. Dad is no longer Ultra Instinct! Sun Gohan exclaimed. Kala's face also became heavy. Piccolo looked solemn. Jack's eyes widened. You made me have so much fun. It's almost time for me to consume your energy. Moro said. He stretched out his hand towards Sun Wukong's body and began to absorb his energy. At this moment, Moro suddenly felt something was wrong behind him, and quickly jumped up to avoid the opponent's attack. It was number 17 and number 18 who attacked. If you want to absorb energy, you can try to absorb our energy. Number 18 smiled. But we don't have energy you can absorb. Number 17 smiled. Artificial life? I didn't expect that there would be such a thing on this planet. Moro smiled lightly. 7th Universe, Yadrit. Mr. Vegeta, as you know, although the Earth you live on is not in this universe, because the breath will be transmitted through your connection point, you can still use teleportation to return. P-Bala explained. Shut up first. Vegeta's face darkened. At this time, Vegeta was concentrating on learning teleportation. Vegeta put his index and middle fingers together on his forehead, with a serious expression on his face. Shua. The next moment, Vegeta disappeared in a flash. Oh! Disappeared. Iriku said excitedly. Vegeta crawled out of a trash can not far away. Damn, failed. Vegeta gritted his teeth, feeling a little unhappy. Mr. Vegeta, you have to feel the opponent's spirito well. Ayadrit explained. Got it. Vegeta nodded, just once, as long as it succeeds once, it doesn't matter if you can't use this skill again in the future. This is a skill dedicated to Kakarot, I don't want to use it. Just then, Vegeta suddenly sensed a strong breath. This is Sun Wukong's spirito, why is it like this? Isn't he using the breath of God? P-Bala turned his head and looked up at the distant earth. He is no longer in the ultimate freedom state. Did he lose to that guy Moro? Vegeta's expression became heavy. Come on, Vegeta. I believe you can do it this time. Luo Tian stepped forward and put his hand on Vegeta's shoulder. Mel's also stepped forward and put his hand on Vegeta's other shoulder. Chapter 413 Eating Kebabs? What about kebabs? Mears, are you going to? Iliku asked curiously. Yes. Mears nodded. Okay, then come on. Iliku replied. Vegeta said no more, put his finger on his forehead, and thanked the two Yadrits. Thank you for your care during this time, P-Bala, Hazuka. Come on, Vegeta. Hazuka said with a smile. Swish. P-Bala also waved his hand in the air and immediately changed Vegeta's clothes. It is worth mentioning that Vegeta's clothes had been changed into the unique style of the Yadrit people. Now, P-Bala changed Vegeta's clothes back. You have survived the cruel training, go to fight with confidence. P-Bala waved goodbye and saluted Luo Tian and Mels. Swish. Vegeta said no more, and immediately performed instant movement, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Luo Tian and Mels also disappeared with Vegeta. The 6th Universe, Earth. Number 17 and number 18 are still attacking Moro. Moro stood up to block the kick from the two. Number 17 and number 18 saw that the effect was not great, so they jumped back in a hurry, condensing light in their hands. Swish! A cross slash with golden light whizzed towards Moro. With a bang, the cross slash hit Moro. Moro seemed to be unhurt. So that's how it is. There's really no way to take away such energy. What a pity. Moro snorted coldly and turned his head to look at the two androids. Damn it. Our attack doesn't seem to have much effect. Number 18 was pale. Is this guy a monster? Number 17 said in a deep voice. Uncle Piccolo, Kale, let's go too. Son Gohan suggested. No, our energy will be taken away by Moro. Piccolo shook his head, joining the battle casually will only increase Moro's energy. Piccolo and Kale were both distressed for a while. Kale wanted to go up and beat Moro up, but she knew clearly that what Piccolo said was too right. If they rushed up and let Moro absorb the energy, it would only make the opponent stronger. Swish! Just when everyone was at a loss, Vegeta appeared at the scene with Luo Tian and Mers, and appeared next to Son Goku. Vegeta? Luo Tian? Mers? Sun Wukong was surprised and delighted. Mr. Wukong! Mers hurried forward to help Sun Wukong up. Mers, don't meddle in other people's business. This is their fight. Luo Tian scolded, bring the barbecue grill over and find a suitable place to put it. Luo Tian is right. It's just a Moro. You two don't need to take action. Vegeta snorted. A sound. After practicing for such a long time, it would be a bit boring if this guy Moro was easily eliminated by Luo Tian. Okay. Myers responded. Hey, Kakarot. Vegeta smiled and looked at Sun Wukong behind him, taking the opportunity to sneer. You look so embarrassing, you probably haven't comprehended the true freedom. Sun Wukong, there was a moment of silence. Did you use instant teleportation just now? Sun Wukong suddenly woke up. Don't worry, I don't plan to steal your skills. I'm afraid I can't use it a second time, and I don't plan to learn it in the future. Vegeta said lightly, and smiled back, showing a confident face. I have learned a higher level trick than this. Sun Wukong looked at Vegeta with some curiosity. Yes, Luo Tian and Vegeta are back. Piccolo was surprised and happy. Great. Sun Wuhan was excited. Luo Tian found a place, set up the stove and other things, and arranged the materials neatly. Since we are going to eat barbecue, where is the meat? Myers asked. Do you want to transfer it through the air? Don't worry. Luo Tian smiled, it will be there in a while. Myers said no more. Anyway, he would not starve to death if he didn't eat. Hey, number 17, number 18, it's okay, it's my turn. Vegeta called to number 17 and number 18 who were attacking Moro. Number 17 and number 18 also stopped attacking immediately and turned their heads to look in the direction of Vegeta. Let me kill him. Vegeta smiled confidently. Vegeta, you finally showed up. Moro snorted coldly. Long time no see, Moro, you are still stupid. Vegeta snorted, it's fun to bully the weak, isn't it? Weak? You are right. During the time you were hiding, I have become too powerful. No one can make me fight seriously. Moro smiled contemptuously, there are not many people in this world or even in this universe who can make me fight. As he was talking, Moro suddenly glanced at Luo Tian. Moro was choked at the time and couldn't say anything. Don't worry about this, you will fight seriously soon. Vegeta said, and immediately transformed into a Super Saiyan 4, and pointed his thumb at his nose. The person standing in front of you is stronger than you. Vegeta, how many times have I told you not to point your thumb at your nose, why are you doing this again? Sun Wukong said seriously. Get out of here, Kakarot. Vegeta's face darkened, stop saying such baseless things. Moro said nothing, glanced at Vegeta lightly, and then turned his gaze to Luo Tian. Luo Tian. Moro said in a deep voice, I hope you keep your word about what you said. Don't worry, I'll keep my word. As long as you defeat them, I'll let your master go. Luo Tian smiled. Okay. Moro nodded. Everyone looked at Vegeta again, and for a moment they didn't understand what he meant. Vegeta is still an ordinary Super Saiyan 4, right? Piccolo pondered. Yet it feels like there is not much change from before. Son Gohan also analyzed. Swish. Vegeta said no more, and quickly rushed towards Moro, punching Moro in the stomach. Moro was unfortunately hit, and his feet rubbed the ground and slid backwards. At the same time, Moro's expression was calm, as if nothing had happened. No, it doesn't seem to have much effect. Son Gohan shook his head. What? That guy boasted, but it's totally impossible. Number 18 snorted coldly. Chapter 414 Vegeta's new skill. Vegeta didn't say much nonsense, and rushed towards Moro again, and launched a fierce attack on Moro. Bang bang bang. Vegeta's fists all fell on Moro. Moro seemed too lazy to dodge Vegeta's attack, allowing Vegeta's fists to hit him. Compared with the past, Vegeta's strength has indeed become much stronger. Although he is now just an ordinary Super Saiyan 4, he can already be comparable to the full power period of 4. Piccolo gave an analysis, compared with Moro alone, there is still a big gap. I think it is difficult to surpass Moro's energy by relying solely on Vegeta's training. Sun Gohan and Kai also nodded in acknowledgement. Pa! Vegeta's fist was caught by Moro. Vegeta, you disappoint me so much. Moro sneered, grabbed Vegeta's fist and threw him out. Vegeta's body drew a straight line and hit a cliff heavily. But you can increase your energy to this level, which is indeed worthy of praise. Moro looked at Vegeta with a smile, and glanced at Luo Tian quietly. If I want this guy to let my master go, I must have strength beyond him. But the situation is really good now. As long as I absorb the energy of Vegeta and Sun Wukong, maybe I can have strength beyond that of Luo Tian. Wait a minute, who is the person next to Luo Tian? It feels like the Galaxy Patrol who once fought against me, they seem to have a good relationship. Never mind, come one by one. Vegeta stepped out of the ruins, no longer talking nonsense, and rushed towards Moro again, punching and kicking him. Moro easily resisted, a little confused about Vegeta's operation. What's wrong with Uncle Vegeta? Son Gohan was a little puzzled. Uncle Vegeta knew he couldn't beat him, why did he still attack? Kai was also a little puzzled. Unable to face his own failure, so he broke the jar? Jack gave a summary. Several people looked at Jack together, thinking that this guy's words were really harsh. However, it seemed to make some sense. No, he would understand the opponent's strength. Piccolo shook his head. Stop it, Vegeta. Moro caught Vegeta's attack, suddenly stretched out his hand, aimed at Vegeta's head, intending to release energy and hit him hard. Vegeta tilted his head, leaned to the side, and slashed Moro's neck with a fierce palm. Moro was stunned and looked incredulous. Bang! Vegeta kicked Moro several times in a row, hitting him non-stop. Moro became more and more angry, and suddenly roared, stepped forward and grabbed Vegeta's arms, and lifted his body high. Ah! Moro held Vegeta high and smashed him hard on the ground, leaving a big hole on the ground. But then, Vegeta flew out of the big hole safely. Moro was a little stunned. Vegeta wiped the dust off his face with a smile. So that's it. Sun Wukong suddenly realized and saw Vegeta's skills clearly. Bang! Mara attacked again, but Vegeta blocked the opponent's fist and kicked him in the waist. Mara felt a little pain, gritted his teeth, and shot out a beam of energy from his hand. Vegeta leaned back and avoided the energy attack. Then, Vegeta rolled back several times in a row, and then stabilized his body and landed near Sun Wukong. Vegeta, is the trick you learned, Sun Wukong guessed. Spirito's forced separation technique. Vegeta smiled back. The next moment, Vegeta rushed towards Moro again and fought fiercely with him. It seems that the attack is effective. Is Uncle Vegeta stronger? Sun Wuhan saw something. No, in my opinion, it seems that Moro has become weaker. Piccolo pondered. Kale looked at Piccolo, then at Vegeta, and suddenly realized it. Suddenly, Piccolo and the others seemed to realize something and looked up at the sky. A light blue ball of light appeared in the sky. I don't know when it appeared. Ah! Vegeta shouted and kicked Moro in the chest. Puff! Moro blew out a large amount of energy again, and his appearance suddenly became much older, even with a white beard. Moro widened his eyes and showed a look of disbelief. The energy sprayed by Moro also instantly appeared in the sky and merged with the blue ball of light in the sky. Vegeta smiled more and more brilliantly, and kicked Moro down with a hook in the air. As Moro fell, light blue energy emanated from his body again. Vegeta slowly landed beside Moro, smiling with a big white tooth. Not bad, Mr. Vegeta. Mel sighed. After all, you trained under my guidance. Luo Tian patted Myers' shoulder. I asked you to guide Goku's training, but you still lost to Vegeta. Myers, you originally had a trump card and 4 twos, can't you win? Luo Tian sighed. Myers didn't want to talk anymore, and felt heartbroken again. Moro stood up panting, his face was extremely ugly, and asked coldly, "You bastard, what did you do to me?" His appearance has changed back. Jack was surprised and happy. "What did you say?" Piccolo was stunned. "I just released those spirito and those souls and life energy from others that you forcibly seized." Vegeta said lightly, raised his hand and waved it in the air. Pop! Suddenly, the light blue ball of light condensed in the sky suddenly dispersed and scattered to various places. Some of the energy that was absorbed by Moro before was returned by Vegeta. Son Gohan suddenly reacted and found that his father was still sitting there, looking very tired, so he immediately went forward to help his father up. "Are you okay, Dad?" Son Gohan asked. "Well, I'm sorry, Gohan." Son Goku nodded. "Do you know what Vegeta's trick is?" Piccolo flew over and asked. "That's the forced separation technique of Spirito." Son Goku explained, "It's to force those things that have been combined or absorbed to separate. I can separate the life energy of the people who were killed. Has it been separated?" Piccolo looked up at the sky and found that the energy radiating from Moro flew away again. "I can also separate the Namekians you fused with before. Do you want to try?" Vegeta turned his head and glanced at Piccolo, smiling. "Piccolo, if you separate the Namekians you fused with, you should not be able to turn orange, right?" Vegeta asked. Piccolo didn't want to answer Vegeta. "Well done, Vegeta." Sun Wukong praised, "That's a trick I didn't learn before. Of course, if we do the same training, I will be stronger than you." Vegeta replied triumphantly, "I won this time, Kakarot." As he spoke, Vegeta almost burst into tears. Sun Wukong smiled slightly. "Is he going to win?" Mels pondered, "It seems there is no big suspense. This guy Moro should have a backup plan." Luo Tian smiled. "Really? But you are right. If I win like this, I will have no chance to make a move." Mels nodded, "Then I can't survive in the face of death." "Congratulations, Mels, you have learned to answer quickly," Luo Tian said with a smile. Mels, swish. Moro immediately rushed up from the ground, dark golden light emerged from his body, and he screamed, spraying a bolt of lightning in the direction of Vegeta. Vegeta jumped up, dodged the lightning attack, and quickly appeared above Moro. Bang! Vegeta kicked fiercely, kicking out the energy from Moro again. Moro became more and more angry and fought back against Vegeta. Vegeta dodged easily, and snorted coldly while fighting. "I always felt unhappy before. What absorption? What fusion? What combination? None of them are the original power of that person. I just want to fight fairly." Bang! Just as Vegeta's voice fell, he was punched from the air to the ground by Moro, leaving a human-shaped pit on the ground. Fortunately, Vegeta stretched out his hand to block Moro's fist, and it was not a big deal. Don't always rely on the power of others, try to fight with your own ability. Vegeta snorted, stood up and kicked Moro. Moro drew a parabola in the air and suddenly fell into the ground not far away. Or are you unable to even stand with your own strength? Vegeta sneered. Moro stood up unsteadily, his white beard was longer, and he looked a little old. More and more energy spread out from Moro's body, and quickly left the earth, flying to various places in the 7th universe through the connection point with the 7th universe. The energy that was once absorbed by Moro returned to the planet where the 7th universe was located. Even in the distant Namek. When these energies returned to Namek, the people on Namek who died from absorbing energy slowly opened their eyes again. Did Vegeta just go to Madrid for training? Piccolo asked. Yes. Sun Wukong nodded, but Luo Tian was with him, so he should have given him good guidance. That makes sense. Piccolo nodded. As he was talking, Piccolo also sensed the breath of Namekians for the first time. Pico was surprised and happy. Eska on the temple also sensed the situation of Namek in the 7th universe. Although Namek is in another universe, there is a connection point between this and the 7th universe, and it is still possible to capture the news from there. Could it be? Eska's face showed surprise. What's wrong with you, Eska? Dandy asked. Some Namekians seem to be alive. Eska said excitedly. What did you say? Dandy was a little confused. It is probably not the people who were killed directly by Moro, but those who died because their energy was taken away. Eska explained. Dead people? It has been several months, they have long become mummies, right? Mr. Popo asked. Maybe the Dragon Balls left on Namek protected the lives of compatriots on the planet and prevented them from withering. Eska pondered. Vegeta was still launching a fierce attack on Moro. Almost every attack would make Moro spit out several mouthfuls of energy. Moro looked older and older, and his hatred for Vegeta was getting stronger and stronger. I want you to spit out all the energy you took after escaping from prison. Vegeta snorted. Wukong, have you ever thought that Vegeta would grow to this point? Piccolo suddenly asked. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect him to learn such a trick, and his strength has become stronger than before. Sun Wukong smiled. It's not just that. Piccolo pondered, I was shocked by Vegeta's inner growth. Sun Wukong was slightly stunned. Do you remember? He originally came to conquer the earth. Piccolo said, but now he has become a battle to defend the earth. Not only that, I even feel that he wants to repay the past mistakes made in the past. Past mistakes? Sun Wukong was slightly stunned, a little confused. When he worked in the Frisia Corps, he killed many innocent people. Piccolo said in a deep voice. Jack looked at Vegeta and resisted the urge to take him back to the galaxy prison. Saving the universe from the hands of Moro may be a kind of atonement for him. Piccolo looked at Vegeta in the distance. Vegeta's thoughts are really far-reaching. Sun Wukong sighed. All this is because of you, Goku. Piccolo looked at Sun Wukong again. After meeting you, he was changed. Me? I just want to fight a strong guy. Sun Wukong scratched his head. You have never changed, and you don't need to change in the future. Piccolo smiled. What, are you praising me? Sun Wukong looked at Piccolo. If our story is really written into a novel by Bulma's sister, I think Luo Tian is not the protagonist, you are Goku. Piccolo sighed. Sun Wukong, if Luo Tian hears what you said, he will be unhappy. Sun Wukong said. It's okay, he didn't pay attention to me. Piccolo smiled confidently. However, Piccolo just finished speaking and suddenly found Luo Tian looking over here. Piccolo shivered in fear and lowered his head quickly. What did I say? Sun Wukong laughed. Chapter 416 Let's destroy you. Although I don't understand what it means, I understand the reason. Sun Wukong scratched his head. But this time Vegeta is ahead of you. Piccolo quickly changed the subject, he is really rare. When he fought Zamasu, he didn't surpass you, right? Yes, there was still a big gap between him and me at that time. Sun Wukong nodded in acknowledgement. Now his Super Saiyan 4 should be comparable to your Super Saiyan Blue. Piccolo pondered. That's right. Sun Wukong did not deny. If Vegeta uses the skills of God on this basis, I think he can definitely surpass your Ultra Sign. Piccolo analyzed. It doesn't matter, I'll surpass it again. Sun Wukong looked indifferent. Hey, do you still want to continue training? Even if there are no enemies, do you still want to practice? Jack couldn't help asking, you are really crazy about training. Jack. Just then, Vegeta suddenly turned around and looked at Jack. What? Jack was stunned. Should we capture this guy alive or kill him directly? Vegeta turned his head and asked. At this time, Moro had been knocked to the ground, looking very embarrassed. Of course we killed him. Jack said hurriedly, the reason why he was imprisoned before was because no one could kill him. If he could be killed, of course he would be executed. Since you said so, then Vegeta snorted, looked at Moro with a smile, and stretched out his hand to his body. I won't be as merciful as Kakarot, you go to hell to repent for your jailbreak this time. No, I still destroyed you, you don't even have the qualifications to go to hell. Do you think you won't go to hell? Moro suddenly looked up at Vegeta. I will go to hell too. Vegeta said in a deep voice, I have killed many innocent people before, and I have already had this awareness. Really? Moro snorted coldly. Prepare to die. The destructive energy in Vegeta's hand flashed. Moro suddenly laughed out loud. What are you laughing at? Vegeta frowned. Do you still think you can turn my destructive energy into energy and eat it? Then you try it. I won't die. I haven't finished what I want to do. Moro snorted. You don't have any power anymore, stop talking in your sleep. Vegeta said lightly, and then he released the destructive energy towards Moro without any hesitation. I still have magic power. Moro grinned and raised his hands up suddenly. Boom! Suddenly, a ball of fire suddenly appeared on the ground in front of Vegeta. However, the moment these flames came into contact with Vegeta's destructive energy, they were instantly destroyed by the destructive energy. However, when the flames disappeared, Vegeta was surprised to find that Moro had disappeared. Not good. Vegeta suddenly had a bad premonition. He disappeared. Where did Moro go? Son Gohan exclaimed. That guy. Son Goku's face changed again and again. Vegeta, up there. He flew towards the spaceship. Jack was the first to react and immediately shouted to Vegeta. Vegeta did not hesitate at all and immediately took off and chased in the direction of Moro. Luo Tian, what does Moro want to do? He went to the spaceship, is he trying to escape from here? Myers was a little puzzled. No, there should be some tricks. Luo Tian pondered. But what else can he do? Myers was a little confused. Swoosh! Moro appeared in the spaceship at a very fast speed. On the spaceship. On the platform at the top of the spaceship, Sebensley and Shimolika also looked at Moro with some surprise. The main reason was that Moro looked older. Lord Moro, you look like this, Shimolika exclaimed. Swish! However, just as Shimolika finished speaking, Moro covered him with a flash of lightning and blew him into slag. Shimolika! Sebensley was surprised. Pop! Before Sebensley could react, Moro waved his hand and a strong light covered him. Suddenly, Sebensley was fixed and unable to move. Fortunately, I left a backup with you just in case. Moro grinned, stepped forward and grabbed Sebensley, and stuffed him into his mouth. When Vegeta came over, Moro had already stuffed Sebensley into his mouth, leaving only 2 feet still fluttering outside. Vegeta was startled and asked loudly, what are you doing? Are you eating people without spitting out bones? With that, Vegeta did not hesitate at all and immediately released a ball of powerful energy towards the location where Moro was. Boom! The energy immediately blew the spaceship to pieces. After the smoke gradually dissipated, Moro's figure slowly emerged, revealing a changed face. Hey, Moro's breath has recovered. Sun Wukong exclaimed, no, he is stronger than before. What happened to Sebensley? Piccolo had a bad premonition and said in a deep voice, could it be while talking, Vegeta was punched down from the air by Moro, and fell heavily to the ground, leaving a big hole on the ground. Everyone was shocked and looked in the direction of Vegeta. Dad, it's Moro. Sun Wuhan turned his head and looked in another direction, his expression also became heavy. Everyone looked at the demon who appeared in the sky. The image of the demon had changed. The image of the goat disappeared, revealing a slightly handsome face. There were still 2 horns on his head, but there was a blue crystal on his forehead. Luo Tian, this guy Moruo, he actually ate Sebensli. Mels took the scepter and looked at it carefully, a little surprised. Yes, so he has Sebensli's ability. Luo Tian nodded. So he ate Sebensli for this reason. Mels suddenly realized. What did you do? Why did it become like this? Sun Wukong asked loudly. What did you do to Sebensli? Piccolo gritted his teeth and asked. He, I asked Sebensli to copy more than just magic power. Moruo said with a smile. What do you mean? Piccolo was stunned. What else? Sun Wukong asked. Kale clenched his fists tightly and took a fighting stance. I am the best fighter here, right? Chapter 417 Myers, you are really good at hiding. Did you absorb Sebensli? Sun Gohan asked. Yes, I absorbed Sebensli's ability as well. Moro nodded and admitted, in this way, I have recovered. No, I should say that I am stronger than before, after all, it is the power of the 2 of us combined. It's a pity for you. In other words, your original strength plus Sebensli's strength. Piccolo's face sank. You are right. Moro smiled slightly. Swoosh. Vegeta came from a distance at a high speed, suspended in the sky, looking down at Moro. Then I will tear you apart again. Vegeta shouted loudly, and whistled towards the direction where Moro was. Moro grinned and dodged all of Vegeta's attacks lightly. Vegeta fought for a long time, but didn't touch Moro's body. Your move must cause damage to the opponent, right? I won't make the same mistake again. Moro smiled lightly. Damn it. Vegeta was a little anxious. Uncle Vegeta. If he absorbs the power of Sebensli, his power should only last for 30 minutes. Sun Gohan suddenly thought of something and quickly said to Vegeta in the sky. Yes, Brother Gohan is right. Kair said excitedly. That's right, when the time comes, his power will be restored. Piccolo also nodded seriously. Because Son Goku didn't know about Sebensli, he listened to it in loneliness. Ha ha ha, my power is back in my body, how can there be a time limit? Moro sneered, his mouth corners slightly raised, not only that. Shua. Moro disappeared in a flash. In just a blink of an eye, Moro appeared behind Vegeta and grabbed his neck. Vegeta was shocked and struggled hard. He pulled away Moro's hand and shouted, "Let go of your dirty hands." However, when Vegeta looked back at Moro's hand, he suddenly found his own head in the blue crystal ball in the other's palm. What is that? How can there be my head? Vegeta had a bad feeling. I got your copying ability. Moro clenched his fist and grinned. Laugh. That bastard. Has he copied Uncle Vegeta's ability? Son Gohan looked extremely ugly. What are you talking about? You've been talking about copying. Son Goku was puzzled. He can copy the opponent's ability by grabbing the neck. Son Gohan explained. Uncle Goku, Moro should have copied Uncle Vegeta's ability just now. Kair also added. Copy. Son Goku was also a little stunned for a while. The situation is not good, the situation has taken a sharp turn for the worse. Myers sighed. Yes. Luo Tian nodded and patted Myers on the shoulder. Myers, it's your turn to play later. Okay. Myers responded. Bang. Moro hit Vegeta's head with a heavy punch, knocking him down from the air. After landing, Vegeta rubbed his head and felt his head buzzing. However, when Vegeta looked up, he suddenly found that Moro was emitting powerful energy. That's Piccolo was shocked. Uncle Vegeta's trick. Son Gohan responded. Big Bang attack. That's right, Vegeta. Moro grinned, and a ball of energy shot out from his hand and hit Vegeta's position. Boom. Accompanied by a loud earth-shaking sound, a big hole was blown out of the ground. After the smoke dissipated, Vegeta fell to the ground, and he had recovered from Super Saiyan 4 to normal. Uncle Vegeta! Son Gohan was shocked. Kale also clenched his fists tightly. Piccolo's face became heavier. It's no big deal. Moro smiled lightly, it's just an ordinary Qigong wave, with an exaggerated name. This is bad. Piccolo looked heavy. If he copied Vegeta's ability, the ability to force the separation of Spirito just now was also copied by him. In other words, your fusion and combination can't be used. Sun Wukong, I'm on it. Myers took a deep breath and walked towards this side. The next moment, Myers took out a pistol and fired a shot in the direction of Moro. Moro was about to completely destroy Vegeta when he suddenly sensed a powerful energy whistling towards him. Moro's face changed slightly, and he hurriedly crossed his arms to block the invasion of energy. Then, Moro turned his head and looked in the direction of Myers, and his face became gloomy. You injected your energy into the bullet. Moro snorted coldly. Myers looked at the other party calmly, and after a brief silence, the corners of his mouth raised an arc. Aren't you a galactic patrolman? Moro snorted. Myers. Jack looked at Myers in surprise. Myers put his pistol on the butt and appeared opposite Moro. Myers. Sun Wukong was also slightly stunned. It's okay, Mr. Wukong. Myers smiled at Sun Wukong. Is Myers going to join the battle? Piccolo pondered, if he takes action, Moro should not be his opponent. No, Myers said that he can only fight with the power of the Galactic Patrol and cannot use the power of angels. Sun Wukong explained. After Sun Wukong said this, several people present looked at him together, their eyes full of questions. Because except Luo Tian, other angels can't fight. Sun Wukong answered. Why? Vegeta gritted his teeth and climbed up from the ground, asking curiously. What will happen if the angels fight? Kair also asked. Angels will disappear if they participate in the battle. Sun Wukong said. Will it disappear? Didn't Luo Tian follow us to fight Zamasu? Piccolo was puzzled. Because Luo Tian is an angel who became an angel through cultivation, he is different from them. Sun Wukong replied. Although everyone felt a little puzzled, they basically understood it. In other words, Mels can only use the power of the Galactic Patrol? Piccolo's voice became heavy. Hey? What are you talking about? Is Mels an angel? Jack asked in surprise. You didn't know it now? Sun Wukong looked at Jack. Jack, you never told me, should I know? Jack was speechless and took a deep look at Mels. Chapter 418. It turns out that you are also an angel. Luo Tian. They have been defeated by me. It's time to fulfill your promise. Moro shouted at Luo Tian. Don't worry, it's not over yet. Luo Tian smiled, Mels will play with you. Humph. Just a small galactic patrolman, nothing special. Moro smiled disdainfully. Swish. Mels said no more and immediately rushed towards Moro, and a long stick suddenly appeared in his hand. Bang! Mels hit Moro with a stick. Moro raised his hand and caught the stick with his arm, and looked at Mels deeply. The more he looked, the more he felt that he was a little bit dissatisfied. It's so right. Why can't I feel the life energy from you? Did you disguise yourself before? Moro frowned and asked, your true appearance is a god or something like that? Mels didn't answer this question and hit him with a stick again. Moro raised his arm to resist the attack of the stick and rushed towards Mels. Mels leaned back and stuck the stick into the ground. Then, Mels pressed a button on the stick. Bang! The stick bounced up and poked Moro's chin on the spot. Moro rolled in the air, and when he was about to land, he propped up a layer of protective shield and straightened his body. Then, Moro wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with his thumb and showed a ferocious smile. Swoosh! The two rushed towards each other again. Bang bang bang! The stick in Mel's hand spun rapidly, blocking Moro's attacking fist. Moro gritted his teeth, 2 golden lights flashed in his eyes, and shot towards Mel's. Mel's hurriedly raised his stick to block the energy attack. Bang! Moro kicked the stick in Mel's hand into the air. Then, Moro hit Mel's face heavily with his head. Mel's flew backwards. Swish, swish, swish. Moro waved his hand and released several energy bombs, which hit Mel's. Mel's quickly rolled over several times and avoided the attack of the energy bombs. Moro rushed again. Mel's waved his hands in the air and directly fixed Moro on the spot. At the same time, Mel's flying stick also fell rapidly. Bang! Moro untied the restraints and punched Mel's stick. Mel's breathed a sigh of relief. You hid your strength in the battle. Moro frowned and asked in surprise, why did you do this? Use such a boring prop. Mel's did not answer. Wukong, come here. Luo Tian suddenly spoke. Sun Wukong was slightly stunned, but he immediately flew to Luo Tian's side. Shua! Luo Tian waved the scepter in his hand, and the angel power covered Sun Wukong's body, immediately restoring his injuries and energy. Hey! Sun Wukong felt his own powerful strength and was surprised and happy. Go help Mel's. Luo Tian said to Sun Wukong, you know he can't fight. I understand. Sun Wukong nodded solemnly, and immediately flew up quickly and appeared next to Mel's. Look, Luo Tian restored Wukong's energy. Jack said hurriedly. I also want to restore my energy. Vegeta stood up shakily and said to Luo Tian in the distance. Vegeta, you talk too much. Luo Tian scolded angrily, you were fully capable of destroying him just now, but you had to wait until he released his magic power before you did it. You should reflect on yourself first. Vegeta, the problem is, even if Kakarot recovers his energy, how can he be a match for Moro? What is Luo Tian thinking about? Vegeta, I feel like Luo Tian seems to be holding back some big moves. Piccolo lowered his voice, helped Vegeta over, and whispered. What big move is he playing again? Vegeta frowned. Maybe it's against Goku. Piccolo guessed. Targeting my dad? What does Uncle Luo Tian want to do? Son Gohan was also puzzled. Just take a look and you'll know. Piccolo replied. Uncle Luo Tian may want Uncle Goku to complete the true ultimate self. Kair suddenly said. Is that really the case? Piccolo was slightly surprised. Vegeta was silent. Mr. Wukong. Myers turned his head to look at Sun Wukong and smiled at him. Stop it now. If you continue to fight, you will disappear. Sun Wukong's tone became heavier. It's okay now. Myers smiled slightly. I'll fight him. Sun Wukong said, and a bright light emerged from his body, and he opened the Ultra Instinct form again. Moro swept towards Luo Tian, a little speechless. A short silence. Luo Tian. You also brought him energy recovery? Moro gritted his teeth. Yeah, do you have any objections? Luo Tian smiled lightly. Moro didn't want to talk anymore. You are too shameless, aren't you? But even if he recovers his energy, how can he be my opponent? Moro was not afraid at all. Sun Wukong immediately rushed towards Moro and launched a fierce attack on him. Moro dodged easily. After several rounds of fighting, Moro punched Sun Wukong and sent him flying. Sun Wukong flew backwards. Mers hurriedly waved his hands at Sun Wukong in the air and stabilized his body. Sorry Mers. Sun Wukong fell to the ground and got up after gritting his teeth. You couldn't even beat me before, so why do you think you can beat me now? Moro smiled contemptuously and looked in the direction of Sun Wukong. Damn it! I finally cultivated the ultimate instinct to the extreme, but I can't be good. Sun Wukong felt a headache. No, Mr. Wukong, there is no problem with your cultivation. You are just one opportunity away from completion. Myers smiled. Opportunity? What do you mean? Sun Wukong was stunned. I am also one opportunity away from further improvement, Myers said with a smile. Sun Wukong was even more confused. Snap! Just then, a big hand suddenly stretched out from the ground and pinched Myers' neck from behind. Myers did not dodge. Ha ha ha, although I don't know who you are, I'll still copy your ability. Moro laughed. Snap! A scepter immediately appeared in Mel's hand, and with a light wave, he directly cut off Moro's arm. Moro was immediately shocked. After seeing the scepter in Mel's hand, Moro widened his eyes and turned his head to look in the direction of Luo Tian. Chapter 419 Mel's, you have become transparent. Snap! Moro recovered his hand through regeneration. Moro waved the scepter, his expression became extremely solemn, and said coldly, the most troublesome thing now is his copying ability. I'd better seal this ability of his. Swish! Moro said no more and whistled in the direction of Mel's. Neither good nor evil, I was born as an angel in a neutral position. Mel's said to himself. Sun Wukong looked at him. At this time, Moro had already rushed over. Mel's dodged Moro's attack lightly, jumped high, and suddenly waved his hand. The power of the angel acted on Moro's body and directly fixed him to the ground. Crack! The scepter in Mel's hand knocked on the crystal ball in Moro's palm. With a crisp sound, the crystal ball in Moro's palm shattered instantly. Moro was shocked and quickly resisted. Mel's jumped back to Sun Wukong and began to talk to himself again. So no matter how chaotic this universe becomes, even if it disappears, I can only watch it. Mel said to Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong did not say a word. Seal? After getting up, Moro tried to recover the crystal in his hand. However, Moro soon discovered tragically that the crystal in his hand could not be recovered, as if it was restrained by some powerful force. But as a member of the Galactic Patrol, working with them, I don't know when, a sense of justice has sprouted in my heart. Mel's continued. Sun Wukong was silent. Moro rushed towards Mel's again and launched a fierce attack on him. Mel's easily blocked all of Moro's punches and kicks with the scepter in his hand. They, the Galactic Patrol, may be elites on their home planet, but they are very weak in the entire universe. Mel spoke while fighting. Jack? Weak? Who are you talking about? There are actually many criminals who violate the galactic law, who are more powerful than the Galactic Patrol, but they work with their own beliefs and desperately protect the galaxy. Mers continued, and used the scepter to catch the attack of Moro, and suddenly lifted it up. Swish! Mers lifted Moro up to a high altitude. The next moment, Mels took the scepter and posed as if holding a gun. Bang! The gun went off. The end of the scepter ejected a powerful angelic force, hitting the crystal in Moro's other hand on the spot. The crystal in Moro's hand shattered on the spot and was sealed up, unable to regenerate. Looking at the figures of those team members, I couldn't help but think I don't want to lose this peaceful galaxy. Mel smiled at Sun Wukong. While saying this, Mel's body also became somewhat transparent. Hey Mers, you've become transparent. Jack exclaimed on the side. Sun Wukong widened his eyes, with a look of shock. Before this, Luo Tian and I traveled in the universe and encountered many things. Mers smiled, then Mr. Wukong, after meeting you, my idea has become more firm. Mers, what are you doing? Stop! Sun Wukong said loudly. I'm afraid the next time will be my last attack. Mel's expression also became serious. Then, the angel power on Mel's body surged wildly again, and the angel halo also emerged from his neck. Luo Tian, take good care of Wukong for me. Mel smiled back at Luo Tian, and looked at Mo Luo in the sky again. Luo Tian looked at Mel's calmly without speaking. Mo Luo gnashed his teeth in hatred, but he had no way to deal with Mel's. Ah! Mel soared into the sky and rushed towards the direction of Moro. Sun Wukong hurriedly shouted Mel's name, and at the same time, every bit of his time with him emerged in his mind. Sun Wukong knew Mel's a long time ago, and it was Mel's who took Sun Wukong on his first space journey. These memories are deeply hidden in his heart. In Sun Wukong's mind, it is still vivid now. Next, what is more deeply remembered is Sun Wukong and Myers's training in the other dimension. Myers, this universe has been saved by Mr. Goku several times? Goku, it seems so, but I don't feel that way. It's just that every time the powerful guys are almost always bad guys. Myers, so even if the other party is evil, you don't insist on killing them? Goku, anyway, the next time that guy does something bad, I will become stronger than him, so there will be no problem. And that way I can fight a few more times, maybe the other party can become a good person. Myers, let the evil people give up evil and do good is the same as our Galactic Patrol's idea. Mr. Goku, you are amazing. Goku, I don't think I'm doing anything amazing, it's just that I feel more excited and expectant. Myers, excited and expectant? Mr. Goku, you are indeed an interesting person. Much more interesting than Jiren, who I want to cultivate sincerely. It must be said that after living with Goku in the other dimension for such a long time, Myers was really infected by Goku's innocence. In the past, he only had a simple intersection with Sun Wukong, but he did not have a deep understanding of him. This time in the different dimension, Mels truly felt the unique innocence of Sun Wukong. Mels even felt that Luo Tian should not become an angel through cultivation. The person who truly became an angel through cultivation should be Sun Wukong. He has a pure heart like an angel. No wonder the king of all is willing to be friends with him. Mels was conquered by Sun Wukong from the bottom of his heart. At this moment, Mels no longer considered the victory or defeat of the game with Luo Tian. Swish! Mels rushed towards Moro without hesitation. Moro had already condensed a huge ball of energy in his hand, and covered the direction of Mels. Puff! Mel's body directly penetrated the energy released by Moro. Moro was stunned. Shua! Mers appeared in front of Moro with a flash, and punched him hard, hitting the crystal on his forehead directly. Crack! The crystal on Moro's forehead shattered on the spot and was sealed by the power of the angel. At the same time, Moro's body fell from the air, hit the ground heavily, and rolled several times on the ground. When Moro stopped, he gasped and wailed in pain. Chapter 420, Extreme Freedom. Explosion. Hey? Hey? Jack was stunned. Wait a minute, Mels, you are disappearing. When the rest of the people saw this scene, they all widened their eyes and couldn't say anything. Mers. Sun Wukong was shocked. Mr. Goku, with your current strength, if you can achieve the true ultimate freedom, you will be much more stable than now. No matter whether the opponent is Moro or anyone else, you will never lose again. Myers smiled at Son Goku again. This galaxy that I love is always exciting and exciting. Please protect it. After the voice fell, Myers turned into stars and completely disappeared. Disappeared? Jack exclaimed. Myers. Why did Myers disappear? Son Gohan's face also changed color. What does this guy want to do? Vegeta frowned. It feels like there is another deep meaning in it. Piccolo pondered. Hey? Uncle Piccolo, what is the deep meaning? Son Gohan was puzzled. I'm not very clear now, but I should know it in a while. Piccolo said. Brother Gohan, look. Look at Uncle Goku, he seems Kaier pulled Son Gohan's arm. Suddenly, angelic power burst out from Sun Wukong's body. What happened to you, Wukong? Jack asked. Mel's taught me another important thing. Sun Wukong whispered. What important thing? Jack asked, and looked around. Hey? Why am I the only one closest to you? Why are the others running so far away? I'm not fighting alone. Sun Wukong said in a deep voice. Swish! At the same time, Mel's turned into a light spot of angelic power and appeared beside Luo Tian. How is Mr. Wukong? Mel's asked. Now it depends on whether he can control his emotions. Luo Tian said. It's time for me to go too. Mel said to Luo Tian. Go, go. Reshape your body. Luo Tian nodded. Yes. Mel said solemnly. Swish. Mel's disappeared immediately. Saved by Vegeta, saved by Luo Tian, and even Myers paid with his life. Sun Wukong lowered his head, his face becoming more and more ugly, but those were not for me, but for this universe. After thinking of all this, Sun Wukong's face showed a bit of anger, and he clenched his fists tightly, and his body shook violently. But then, Sun Wukong relaxed his mood, loosened his clenched fists, raised his head and took a deep breath, and opened his eyes. At this moment, Sun Wukong's eyes were particularly clear, just like the spring water of Baizai Mountain. Jake, can I ask you something? Sun Wukong suddenly asked. Jack was stunned. Why do you want to be a galactic patrol? Sun Wukong asked. Why do you are asking such a question at this time? Jack's face was sweating. Mers has disappeared, and you are still asking such a question. Tell me. Sun Wukong said stubbornly. It is for, of course it is for the galaxy I want to protect. Jack said loudly, besides, the uniform of the Galactic Patrol is very handsome. Yes, the same is true for Mel, she has always been here to protect this galaxy. Sun Wukong sighed, and looked down at the Galactic Patrol logo printed on his chest. I am now a Galactic Patrol like you, and I must protect this universe and never let Moro do whatever he wants. Bang! As he was talking, Moro suddenly took off and floated in the sky. Then, Moro rubbed the crystal on his forehead, trying to restore it, but he couldn't do it anyway. That bastard, what a weird trick! Moro gnashed his teeth in hatred. Then, Moro glanced in the direction of Sun Wukong and found that Myers had disappeared. Where did the angel go? Moro asked. Myers no longer exists. I am the one who wants to defeat you. Sun Wukong said in a heavy tone. What did you say? Moro snorted coldly, showing a look of disdain. Myers will be inherited by me. Sun Wukong said, and a powerful and bright light suddenly burst out from his body. A beam of light as bright as a star shot straight into the sky, which was very beautiful at this moment. This is Piccolo was stunned. Dad is finally going to complete the true ultimate freedom? Sun Wuhan was surprised and happy. Uncle Goku finally did it. Kaier clenched his fists excitedly. Vegeta, I knew it. Luo Tian and Myers are playing a big game. Kakarot and I are both chess pieces. As a result, Kakarot, the chess piece, has achieved the true ultimate freedom. What about me? Vegeta felt the tragedy again. Pa! The brilliant light that burst out from Sun Wukong was quickly absorbed into his body. At this moment, the shaking of the earth has stopped. It was as if Sun Wukong's body was integrated with the whole nature. Sun Wukong stood there calmly, and the color of his hair on his head had turned silver white. Sun Wukong finally opened the true ultimate freedom. Ya, what is this change? Moro was stunned. Sun Wukong looked at Moro deeply and walked towards him. Seemingly shocked by Sun Wukong's powerful momentum, Moro couldn't help but take a step back, with a look of fear in his eyes. But then, Moro suddenly realized something, shouted, and swung a powerful punch at Sun Wukong. Yes. Why should I be afraid of a human? The angel just now disappeared after being beaten by me. What is there to fear from a small human? However, just when Moro raised his fist and wanted to attack Sun Wukong. Shua! Sun Wukong flashed and appeared beside Moro, grabbing his wrist. Moro was stunned. What a fast speed! Don't you dare to hurt the earth again! Sun Wukong looked indifferent. Damn it! Moruo kicked fiercely. Sun Wukong jumped lightly and dodged Moruo's attack. Moruo bared his teeth and punched Sun Wukong again. Sun Wukong raised his arm to block Moruo's attack and pushed his arm forward. Bang! With a loud bang, Moruo flew backwards and fell heavily into the stone forest in the distance. Moruo fell to the ground, showing a look of astonishment. What happened just now? Chapter 421 Go back to jail. Bang! 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 Moro launched a fierce attack on Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong faced Moro sideways and caught all his attacks with one arm. Damn it! Moro became more and more angry. He found that his fists were not enough, so he added his feet. Sun Wukong still easily blocked with one arm. Ah! Moro screamed and increased the intensity of his attack. Sun Wukong jumped back and dodged lightly. How did you do it? Moro looked at Sun Wukong in surprise. I didn't think about anything. Sun Wukong said lightly, my body made its own judgment and dodged. So you can never hit me. What did you say? My body made its own judgment and said some inexplicable words. Moro looked at Sun Wukong in disbelief. The next moment, a dark golden light appeared on Moro's body, and his energy had been raised to the extreme. Sun Wukong slowly raised his arm and aimed at Moro's body. Moro roared towards Sun Wukong. The divine power emerged from Sun Wukong's hands and quickly covered Moro's body, and controlled his body, suspending him in the air. Ha! Sun Wukong punched Moro in the abdomen with a sky punch. Moro's face was distorted, and he was hit high in the air by a punch. A few seconds later, Moro fell from the air and hit the ground. When he looked again, there was a deep fist mark on Moro's abdomen, and blood was flowing at the place where the fist mark was. Moro let out a painful wail. Yes, that's it. Luo Tian nodded with satisfaction. It's not easy. Wukong finally realized the true freedom. Vegeta felt a little uncomfortable again. Damn Kakarot, you are ahead of me again. I finally surpassed you. Now you understand, you can't beat me. Sun Wukong said coldly. Mo Luo gritted his teeth and climbed up from the ground, his legs trembling constantly, and his other hand covered his pierced abdomen, blood flowing out from his fingers. Mo Luo screamed again and knelt on one knee involuntarily. Do you understand the feelings of those people you killed now? Sun Wukong said coldly. Shut up. Don't preach to me, do you think you have become a god? Mo Luo shouted angrily, didn't I kill that god just now? Sun Wukong remained silent. I'm not afraid of the power of God. I'm Mo Luo who eats planets, and I live by eating things created by God. Mo Luo shouted loudly, I am the supreme existence on this planet. Boom! Mo Luo's magic power was fully activated, and pillars of fire burst out from the depths of the earth. Shua! Mara quickly jumped out of the hole where a pillar of fire was, appeared behind Sun Wukong, and pounced on Sun Wukong with his teeth and claws. Bang! Sun Wukong kicked back fiercely and hit Mara's chin directly. Mara's body flew backwards and plunged into the pillar of fire he released. Mara let out a painful wail, and was burned by the pillar of fire he released, and the smell of mutton came out of his body. The next moment, Mara slowly fell to the ground. Mara, it's over. Sun Wukong said coldly, I won't let you continue to treat the earth as a toy. Is this planet so important to you? Then I'll eat it first. Mara gritted his teeth and climbed up from the ground, suddenly raised his right hand, and planned to absorb the energy of the planet. Bang! Sun Wukong quickly attacked and kicked Mara, kicking Mara and sending him flying backwards. With a loud bang, Moro plunged headfirst into a steep boulder, leaving a pit on the stone. Moro climbed out of the pit in a panic. Bang! A huge rock fell from above and hit Moro's head heavily. Moro wailed again, leaving only one arm still struggling outside. At this moment, Moro felt that his mentality had completely collapsed. "Save me!" Moro's tone was pleading. "Hey? What did he say?" Jake was stunned. He never expected that this guy would beg for mercy. Sun Wukong looked at him calmly and did not respond. "Don't kill me!" Moro continued to beg for mercy. "Jake?" Sun Wukong suddenly turned his head and asked Jake, "Is he sentenced to death?" "Yes, yes." Jake nodded repeatedly, "Let's get rid of him here." "Really?" Sun Wukong said, tearing off his coat, "Then from now on, let me fight him as an earthling." Then, Sun Wukong pointed at the stone pressing on Maluo through the air. A powerful destructive energy covered it and directly turned the stone into nothingness. "Stand up, Maluo," Sun Wukong said lightly. Maluo gritted his teeth and climbed up from the ground. "Shua!" Sun Wukong's figure flashed, and in the blink of an eye, he appeared beside Maluo. Maluo was startled and almost knelt down. "If you are willing to go back to the galaxy prison with me, I will save you," Sun Wukong said lightly. "You have to promise not to run away again." Mara was stunned at first, then he was ecstatic and immediately agreed, "Okay, okay, I promise. I will never do that again. Promises are just to deceive 3-year-old children. We are all adults, do you still believe in promises? Well, I will treat you," Sun Wukong said, and the healing spell in his hand quickly covered Moruo's body. Soon, Moruo's injuries were immediately recovered. Mara was surprised and happy, looking at Sun Wukong in astonishment, and sighed, "Your healing skills are not bad. Keep your promise and follow Jack back to the galaxy prison," Sun Wukong said. "Jack?" Jack was panicking. "Sun Wukong, you are too pitiful. Even if you want him to go back to the galaxy prison with me, at least beat him seriously. What's the matter with you healing him? You pig teammate." Of course I will go back. But I don't want to go back like this, at least let me kill you first." Mo Luo roared and stabbed Sun Wukong's chest with a palm. Sun Wukong did not move. When Mo Luo's palm stabbed Sun Wukong's chest, it felt like stabbing an indestructible object. Crack! Mo Luo's bones made a crisp sound, and his arm was shattered. Chapter 422 Little Witch, Xiao Luo Luo, stop it! Mo Luo lay on the ground in pain, rolled on the ground several times, and was so angry that his teeth itched. "Your current strength can never defeat me," Sun Wukong said, squatting down and looking at Mo Luo, and asked, "Have you practiced? How is it possible? Why should I practice?" Mo Luo said coldly. "Compared to taking the lives of people and planets, maybe practicing can make you stronger," Sun Wukong said. "Shut up, practicing is something only weak people do." Mo Luo gritted his teeth and shouted. "What a pity! This is the first time I have seen a guy as strong as you." Sun Wukong sighed, "If you are a good person, I would like to compete with you after you practice seriously." Moro did not say anything, feeling a wave of despair. "Hey, Wukong!" Jack said in a deep voice, "You saw him cheating just now, he will never repent, quickly destroy him." "I understand. But let me talk to him for a few more words," Sun Wukong said stubbornly. I was actually killed by a race that was born only millions of years ago," Moro cried bitterly. "Moro, don't dream of getting away with it anymore." Sun Wukong looked at Moro and said, "I'll ask you one last time, are you still unwilling to return to the galaxy prison?" Moro did not speak, but suddenly his eyes lit up and saw the arm that was cut off by Mel's before. The hand connected to the arm still had a complete blue crystal in the palm. Moro suddenly opened his eyes wide and showed a look of surprise. "Answer my question." Sun Wukong looked down at Moro. "I told you I won't go back to a place like the galaxy prison." Moro snorted, "And I will continue to eat planets in the future." "Really? That can't be helped. Mels and I have agreed to protect this planet and the galaxy. Sun Wukong's eyes showed a strong murderous intent. Mels? That angel? Moro gritted his teeth. Yes, he is also my master. Sun Wukong nodded, he taught me this trick. So that's it, which means he also knows this trick. Moro smiled. Yes. Sun Wukong nodded. Snap. Moro waved his hand in the air and grabbed back fiercely. Suddenly, the hand that fell in the distance quickly flew towards Moro. Moro caught the broken arm. Angel's special ability, right? Moro snorted and immediately connected the arm to his body. Sun Wukong was stunned. Ah! It's coming! Moro was surprised and happy. Wukong! Isn't that Moro's hand that Mel's cut off? Jack exclaimed. Boom! The next moment, a powerful divine power suddenly emerged from Moro's body. When he looked again, Moro's hair also turned silver-white in an instant. Then, Moro put the crystal in his hand on his forehead, and Mel's head appeared in the blue crystal. Moro grinned wildly. I already have the power of an angel, and it's my turn to deal with you next. Moro laughed more and more brilliantly. Luo Tian looked at all this calmly, and released the little witch without panic. As soon as the little witch appeared, she saw what happened at the scene, and her pretty face turned pale. Xiao Luo Luo! The little witch shouted hurriedly. Moro was slightly stunned and looked in the direction of the little witch. Xiao Luo Luo, stop it! The little witch said. Master, stop joking! I finally got the powerful strength of an angel. When I defeat this guy called Sun Wukong, I will come to save you immediately. Moro smiled and did not mean to stop. No. You are definitely not his opponent. The little witch shook her head vigorously. Don't say that, master. Moro snorted, didn't I just say it? I have obtained the power of an angel. Just wait and see the show. The little witch was silent, knowing that no matter how she persuaded, Xiao Luo Luo would not listen. The little witch sighed, and her expression showed helplessness. Seeing such a scene, the people present also widened their eyes one by one. Cockroach, that bastard! He still messed up. Vegeta was unhappy. The person released by Luo Tian seems to be Moro's master. Piccolo pondered. What is the origin of that woman? Sun Wuhan also looked in the direction of the little witch. That woman is so beautiful, I like her every time I see her, Kair said with a red face. Bic looked in Kair's direction. Do you think it's appropriate to say that she is beautiful or not now? Look, I gave you a chance to be a pet, but he didn't cherish it. Luo Tian said to the little witch with a smile. The little witch bit her lips, looking pitiful, and didn't know how to refute for a while. But then, the little witch suddenly saw Luo Tian's body. The barbecue utensils placed beside him could not help but be slightly stunned and asked, what are these? You will know in a while. Luo Tian smiled slightly. The little witch was silent. Sun Wukong also looked in the direction of Luo Tian and the little witch, but did not say much, and then turned his head to stare at Mo Luo. Mo Luo quickly rushed towards Sun Wukong and punched him. Sun Wukong crossed his arms and blocked the opponent's fist. The powerful impact made Sun Wukong's feet rub against the ground at that time, leaving 2 long marks on the ground. How is it? Sun Wukong. Mo Luo looked at Sun Wukong with a smile. Sun Wukong immediately took a fighting stance. The two rushed towards each other quickly and collided their fists together. Boom! Accompanied by a loud noise that shook the earth, extremely huge energy burst out from the fists of the two. Luo Tian pointed at Jake through the air and gathered him to his side to avoid being affected. Sun Wukong found that the fight between him and Moro had caused a huge deep pit to appear on the whole earth, and he felt more and more reluctant. Swoosh! Sun Wukong quickly rushed into the sky. Humph! You don't want the earth to be hurt, right? Moro smiled lightly, immediately tracked up, and kicked Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong blocked the opponent's attack and punched him. The two soon started a fierce fight in the air. Ha ha ha, it's great, I never felt that my body would be so flexible, is this the power of angels? Moro laughed while fighting. After several rounds of confrontation, Moro suddenly kicked over and kicked Sun Wukong down from the air. When Sun Wukong was about to approach the ground, he quickly adjusted his body and landed steadily. Chapter 423 Mel's reshapes his body and his level soars. If you think so, let's continue. Sun Wukong said calmly. How long do you want to keep that face? Show me how scared you are. Moro shouted angrily. The two fought again for several rounds. Sun Wukong kicked forward, but Moro blocked it with his arm. However, Moro felt his arm tremble violently, and cold sweat oozed from his forehead in pain. Moro gritted his teeth, enlarged his arm dozens of times, and smashed a huge fist towards Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong dodged Moro's fist and rushed into the sky. With a gorgeous side kick, he kicked directly on the opponent's back. Suddenly, a tumor-like surge appeared on Moro's back. Suddenly, Moro's upper body expanded several times. Ha ha ha, it's useless. Moro laughed loudly, but layers of sweat appeared on his face. What happened? Jake asked in surprise. His body can't bear the attack of angel power, and it has begun to swell. Luo Tian explained. I haven't thanked you for saving me just now. Jake hurriedly thanked him. How can the power of angels be controlled by the demons? Luo Tian waved his hand and smiled at the little witch. The little witch remained silent. At this moment, Mo Luo's body swelled several times again. Sun Wukong soared into the sky again and kicked Mo Luo in the chest heavily. Puff Mo Luo spit out a large mouthful of blood, and his whole body swelled again. Moro, that is the power of angels. You must practice hard to comprehend it, and there are too few people who can comprehend it. Sun Wukong said lightly, it is absolutely impossible for you to obtain this power by absorbing it. Give up quickly, otherwise your body will be destroyed. Ha ha ha. What a joke. I have no limit. Do you know how many planets and lives I have eaten so far? Moro laughed. Now it is your limit. Sun Wukong said calmly. Shut up. Moro was furious and rushed towards Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong easily dodged Moro's attack and kicked Moro's head fiercely, knocking him to the ground. Moro lay on the ground, his eyes full of unwillingness. When Moro turned his head to look at the little witch, he found that his master's eyes were full of disappointment. I am unwilling. I need a body that can withstand this ability. Moro screamed loudly and was about to merge his body with the earth. Shua! Luo Tian waved his scepter in the air, and a powerful angelic force quickly acted on Maluo's body. Amola screamed, and his body immediately twisted and deformed. In just a blink of an eye, Maluo transformed into a goat. Snap! Luo Tian raised his hand, and a knife appeared in his hand. Shua! The knife flew away quickly and easily cut off one of Maluo's lamb legs. Shua shua shua! The knife quickly cut Maluo's body, causing several pieces of meat to fall off his body. A skewer was directly inserted into those pieces of meat. Mola once again she let out painful howls, feeling as if she was being tortured. The next moment, Luo Tian put the skewers of lamb on the charcoal fire. The little witch couldn't bear it after all, and turned her head to the side, tears rolling in her eyes. Too cruel! You actually ate my pet sheep. One day I will let my brother give you a good beating and avenge my little Luo Luo. Go away, go away! Luo Tian called to Sun Wukong and others present, there is too little meat to eat, go home. Sun Wukong and others landed nearby, and even looked at the demon Luo who had turned into a goat with some sympathy. Luo Tian, what's going on? Sun Wukong asked. Nothing, it was just an experience for you. Luo Tian smiled, now the experience is over, go home. Okay, but this meat seems to smell very fragrant, Sun Wukong sniffed. Luo Tian didn't speak. By the way, Luo Tian, is Merle's really gone? Sun Wukong asked again. Almost. Luo Tian turned the skewers over and brushed them with oil. The aroma of barbecue wafted out again. I see, you make this kind of barbecue, aren't you trying to restore Merle's? Sun Wukong's eyes lit up, and he suddenly thought of something and asked hurriedly. That's about it. Luo Tian nodded gently. Well, I won't bother you anymore. Sun Wukong replied. Can Merle's be restored in this way? Vegeta asked with some surprise. You should practice well after you go back. I think it's very likely that the King of All will hold a martial arts conference for the entire universe soon. Luo Tian pondered, and ordered Sun Wukong, Vegeta, and others, do your best, don't embarrass the sixth universe. Really? I'm looking forward to it. Sun Wukong's face showed surprise. Vegeta, however, was grinning at the side, feeling a little unhappy. Kakarot has surpassed me again. I am so angry. If there is really a martial arts tournament in the universe, I must surpass Kakarot. I will never lose again this time. Isn't it just ultra self-definition? I can also do ultra self-definition. Sun Wukong, Jack, and others said goodbye to Luo Tian one by one and went back. Luo Tian quickly roasted the mutton skewers and made Moro a roasted whole lamb. Moro died, and died tragically. Moro never thought that he would die in this way. Luo Tian handed a skewer of mutton to the little witch. The little witch immediately turned her head to the side. Don't you want to try it? Luo Tian asked. I won't eat it. The little witch was so angry that her whole body was shaking, and her chest was heaving up and down. Forget it. Luo Tian shook his head, but did not force it. He said to the air, Mers, how are you? Don't rush to reshape your body, eat some lamb skewers. Shua. A translucent body emerged. It was Mel's. Seeing Luo Tian eating lamb skewers there, Mel's didn't know what to say. I'm reshaping my body. Can't I eat with you after I'm done? Mel's wiped his sweat. It seems that there is still a lack of beer. Luo Tian pondered. Mers didn't want to talk anymore. Why do the words change when it comes to you? Really don't want to try it? Luo Tian handed the lamb skewers to Mel's and asked with a smile. Okay, I'll try it. Mel's hesitated for a while, but finally nodded and took the lamb skewers and took a bite. When this bite of lamb went into his stomach, Mel's was stunned. Because Mel's clearly felt that the speed of his body reshaping had increased several times. Mel's stared at Luo Tian with wide eyes, looking at him in surprise, and then looked at the kebab in his hand. Then, Mel's did not hesitate anymore, and immediately ate the kebab in his hand clean. Luo Tian smiled mysteriously. You Luo Tian, did you know something a long time ago? Mel's asked, and observed his body. Then Mel's was surprised to find that his body had been reshaped by more than half. If it were at the previous speed, it would take at least a month for the body to be truly reshaped. As a result, after eating a kebab of mutton, the body had been reshaped by more than half. If I had another kebab, would this body be truly reshaped? The little witch also looked back at Mel's, and felt a little surprised. This angel recovered so quickly. Is it related to Xiao Luo's kebab? Can I give me a kebab? The little witch's heart moved, and she asked quickly. You didn't want it when I gave it to you just now, and now you want to eat it? Luo Tian smiled. The little witch bit her lip and nodded. No. Luo Tian refused decisively. You didn't eat it when I gave it to you. Do you think you can get it if you want to? I won't tolerate your bad habits. Luo Tian directly received the little witch into his body. The little witch was furious in Luo Tian's body, furious. You must have done it on purpose. I will let my brother beat you to death. Not only did you eat my pet Xiao Luo, you also deliberately set a trap for me to jump into. You must know that I won't eat Xiao Luo Luo's skewers, so when Mel's improved his strength, you deliberately coveted me. Damn Angel Luo Tian! Just wait. One day I will make you look good. Another one. Mel said excitedly. Luo Tian was not stingy and gave Mel's another skewer of mutton. When Mel's ate the second skewer of mutton, his body had almost returned to its original state, and the transparency had completely disappeared. Why is this so magical? Mel's felt his body and was more and more surprised. After all, Mo Luo copied your angel power, and I simply processed these angel powers through barbecue, so that you can absorb them back. Luo Tian explained with a smile. In other words, through this method, I can not only complete the reshaping, but also improve the purity of my angel power. Mel's was surprised and happy. That's about it. Luo Tian nodded. You really helped a lot, Luo Tian. Mel's thanked sincerely. Don't say that, Mel's. Who made you my best friend? Luo Tian smiled. Mel's was so excited that tears flowed down his face. Luo Tian actually regarded me as his best friend. If it wasn't for you back then, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to become a real angel. Luo Tian smiled and handed Mel's another string of mutton. After eating this string of mutton, Mel's clearly felt that the purity of his angel power was rapidly increasing. And Mel's level also rose with the tide. The next moment, Mel's body suddenly released a dazzling light. When these dazzling flames gradually returned to calm, Mel's also took a deep breath. Then, Mel's silently sensed his level. Level 67. Mel's was surprised and happy, feeling like he was dreaming. Not bad, it's 1 or 2 levels higher than I thought. Luo Tian commented thoughtfully. These are only 3 skewers of mutton, my level has been raised to 67. Myers looked at the other skewers of mutton on the grill with fiery eyes, and then looked at the whole roasted lamb on the side, smacking his lips, his saliva almost flowing down. 3 skewers of mutton have raised my level to 67. If I eat the whole little Luo Luo, will my level reach 80? Endless expectations appeared in Myers' eyes. However, Myers did not mean to eat immediately, but looked at Luo Tian and said, Luo Tian, you should eat too. After eating, your level will also be raised, right? You first. Luo Tian said, and gave Myers another skewer of mutton. It's okay, there are still so many, we can share them. Mel's was so moved that tears were about to fall. You are so kind to me. Eat it. Luo Tian smiled mysteriously, don't be polite to me. Yet. Mel's nodded vigorously, took the mutton skewer in his hand again, and ate it happily. However, after eating this mutton skewer, Mel's felt strangely that his level did not increase. In addition, there was no change in the angel power. Mel's was stunned and looked at Luo Tian in confusion. Think about it yourself. Luo Tian smiled. Mel's rubbed his head and waited seriously for a moment. After a few seconds. Could it be that I have reached my limit? Mel's lowered his eyes and said in a deep voice, after all, my current level is already very high. Even among the official angels, I am among the best. Not at the limit. Luo Tian shook his head. Didn't I reach my limit? Mel's was stunned. Of course. Luo Tian smiled. Why doesn't my angel power increase? Myers was even more puzzled. Because the mutton I gave you just now does not contain angel power. Luo Tian explained. Ah? Not contained? Myers was stunned at first, and then he suddenly realized, yes, I was just shocked by the aroma of mutton just now. Now think about it carefully, it does not contain angel power. In fact, only the 3 muttons I gave you contain angel power, and the rest do not. Luo Tian smiled and gave the answer. You didn't bring any? Mel's reacted very quickly and came back to his senses again. Yes, although Moro copied my abilities, he didn't become that strong after all. A lot of angelic power has dissipated, and his body can't bear so much angelic power. And after I reshaped my body, the angelic power added through his body is actually not much. That's exactly the reason. It's mainly because your body reshaping has brought you more level upgrades, and these 3 skewers of mutton just played a guiding role. In addition, I injected some of my angelic power into you when cooking, so that you can have a better upgrade. Luo Tian explained with a smile. I see, thank you so much Luo Tian. Mel's was moved to tears. I'm also very happy to see you reach this level now. Luo Tian stood up and patted Mel's on the shoulder. So what about the rest? Mers pointed to the roasted whole lamb and other lamb skewers. All the exams are done, go back and give them to your sister. Luo Tian grinned. Mers, Chapter 424 Omni King, hold it now. Luo Tian packed up the lamb skewers on the scene and brought them back to the 6th universe for Bardos to taste. Bardos really liked it. The matter of Mo Luo ended here. This time, Luo Tian simply wanted to let Mel's upgrade his level. Anyway, before Luo Tian became an angel, Mel's helped him a lot. Luo Tian has always remembered this favor. Now that I can help Mel's, I will help him well. It just happens to help Wukong complete the true freedom. A 2 birds with 1 stone thing. A few days passed like this. Temple of the Omni King. 2 Omni Kings are playing chess. They are holding chess pieces carved out of 12 universes. I eat. The 7th universe was eaten by me. Said the All-King. Ah bad, I only have 5 universes left. The future All-King lowered his head in thought, and picked up another chess piece, somewhat undecided. I have 5 here too. Said the All-King. The 2 looked at each other. Aren't there too many universes? The All-King suddenly asked. Yes, there are too many. The future All-King nodded. Will it be difficult to manage if there are too many? Will it have an impact on the entire space-time? The All-King pondered. The space-time I am in is precisely because there are too many universes that Zamasu, that guy, is so reckless. The future All-King's expression became solemn. If there are fewer universes, it will be easier to manage, and secondly, we can know everything in the first place. You are right, if it doesn't work, we can reduce some universes. The All-King said in agreement, and turned his head to look at the High Priest. Hey, High Priest, what is the comprehensive index level of the 12 universes now? The first universe is still the highest, the 12th universe has grown rapidly and has become the second, and there are no special changes in the following universes. The High Priest gave the answer, if you look at the overall level, there may be an overall decline. There is no growth at all, there is no need to keep 12 universes. The King of All nodded. Yes, all the universes in our time and space are also declining, and Zamasu made trouble, so they were cleared. The future King of All responded. Then reduce some more universes. The King of All made up his mind. After hearing this, the 2 guards were also frightened and their faces changed slightly. Yes, 4 should be enough. The future King of All agreed deeply. Destroy all low-level universes. The King of All nodded. I understand, then I will call back the angels from each universe now. The High Priest did not object. Pa! A scepter immediately appeared in the hands of the High Priest, and he was going to summon all the angels to the scepter crystal ball. Just at this moment, a voice suddenly sounded outside. Oh, a guest is coming. The High Priest smiled. Who? Who is coming? The 2 kings were stunned. It should be Mr. Wukong. The High Priest smiled, I'll bring him in. The 2 kings did not object. By the way, it is worth mentioning that the 2 kings have had enough of the creation of the 7th and 10th universes, and let them go back to their own homes. Of course, before leaving, the 2 kings severely criticized the 2 of them. If there is a next time, it will not be as simple as riding a horse. This time it is just to sound the alarm for them and let them work hard in the future. The High Priest quickly brought Sun Wukong in. Sun Wukong waved and greeted the 2 kings enthusiastically. Oh, Wukong. The king of all grinned. It seems that you get along quite well. Sun Wukong said with a smile, and suddenly thought of the two Kaishin of the universe, and asked casually, where are they? Who? The king of all did not react. Forget it, it's not important. Sun Wukong really just asked casually. The king of all did not continue to ask. Since it is not important, then I will not answer it. If the two Kaishin were here, they might feel heartbroken after hearing their conversation. We are Kaishin after all. Is it really not important at all? Wukong, are you coming to play with me? The king of all asked excitedly. Well, I don't know which one is Xiao Chuan who has an appointment with me. We agreed before to hold a martial arts conference for the entire universe. Sun Wukong scratched his head and said, how is that thing going? I can't wait. Ah, I forgot. The king of all suddenly came back to his senses. I knew it. Sun Wukong laughed. If all those universes are wiped out, it can't be held. The future king of all turned his head and said to the king of all. Yes. The king of all nodded. What? What are you talking about? Sun Wukong asked curiously. Nothing, please don't mind. The high priest smiled. Then hold it right away. The king of all made a prompt decision. You are really straightforward. When do you plan to start? Sun Wukong felt that happiness came too suddenly, and he was not even mentally prepared. High priest, when do you think it will start? The king of all asked the high priest. Well, each universe also needs time to prepare, maybe after 5 kikes. The high priest suggested. Okay, that's it. The king of all made the final decision. How long is that? Sun Wukong was left speechless. You are from the planet called Earth in the 6th universe, right? The high priest smiled. Yes, yes. Sun Wukong nodded. Then about 40 hours later. The high priest replied. Ah? 40 hours. So fast? Sun Wukong was shocked and waved goodbye hurriedly. I know, I have to go back and prepare right away. Please wait a moment, now we need to gather all the gods including Luotian and Broly, as well as Bardos and Xiangpa, and tell them about this. Please wait here for a moment. The high priest looked at Sun Wukong. Ah? It's too late. Sun Wukong scratched his head, looking tangled. It will be ready soon, said the high priest, raising his hand, and a scepter appeared in his hand. Sun Wukong was slightly stunned. This is the first time I have seen him take out this thing. It really looks like Luo Tian's scepter. Dear angels, I am the high priest, please answer. The high priest spoke to the crystal ball on the scepter. At the same time, this voice was also spread to the scepters of all angels through group messages. Of course, this also includes Luo Tian's scepter. The 6th universe, Earth. After the Moro incident, Luo Tian returned to Earth and still lived in Bulma's house, continuing to hone his angelic power. During this period, Luo Tian's level has been improved again, from level 85 to level 86. Although Luo Tian's level has been greatly improved, he still feels that the improvement is too slow. Chapter 425 The High Priest's Summoning. All gods gathered in the temple of the Omni King Luo Tian is not satisfied with the status quo. After all, before this, Luo Tian had seen the god of time and space destruction, who said that there was a lack of a space-time angel in space and time. Luo Tian wanted to become a space-time angel, to become the god who controls space and time. So Luo Tian had to work hard for it, instead of just lying down. Just when Luo Tian was practicing seriously, he suddenly received a voice from the high priest. Luo Tian took the scepter and looked carefully, and found that the high priest had actually turned on the group chat mode. This was the first time that Luo Tian had seen the group chat mode in the scepter after becoming an angel, and it was initiated by the high priest. Luo Tian was stunned for a moment, and then he immediately thought of what was about to happen. Is the power conference coming soon? Time flies so fast. Yes, High Priest. Luo Tian replied. Yes, High Priest. Angels from other universes also answered one after another. Everyone, have you received it? Are you listening? The voice of the High Priest sounded again, and said, Now I have something to inform you. Please come to the palace of the Lord of all Kings with the God of Destruction and the God of Kings. That's it. Luo Tian, Mers, and Bayer, the three of you come together, and bring the great God of Destruction Broly and the little God of Destruction Bu. Yes, Lord High Priest. Luo Tian and the other two responded immediately. The call ended. Hey? Will everyone gather here now? Sun Wukong was stunned. Yes, please wait a minute. The High Priest smiled. The 10th universe, the God of Kings. It happened that Kes and Rumsey were both in the God of Kings. Kes conveyed the news to the God of Kings, Kvas, and the God of Destruction, Rumsey. This is a big event. Rumsey held his head, and his face became extremely ugly. My waist. Kvas rubbed his old waist and felt that he was not feeling well. I was ridden by the Omni King some time ago. I was just free now, why did he let me go again? It must be because of Zamasu again. You implicated me this time, you bastard, Kvas. Rumsey was furious and slapped Kvas's face with his elephant trunk. No way, isn't it over? Why do you keep holding on to this matter? Kvas rubbed his face and wanted to cry but had no tears. The 7th universe, the realm of the gods of destruction. Whis conveyed the news to the old Kai, and after learning the news, the old Kai immediately asked the Kai to send him to the realm of the gods of destruction. Bang! The old Kai slapped the Kai to the ground with a slap, and stepped on him hard with his feet. You idiot! What did you do to the Omni King? Why do you want to go back so soon after you came back? The old Kai shouted angrily. Beerus also had a dark face, and he wanted to go forward and destroy the King of the Kai. I didn't do anything. King of the Kai felt that he was innocent. Whis, do you know what will happen? Beerus asked. It's not clear yet. Whis shook his head. It's terrible, what happened? Beerus had a headache for a while. The Temple of the Omni King. It's almost 1 minute. The High Priest smiled and then greeted the crystal ball on the scepter. Everyone, are you all ready? Yes. Already ready. Thank you. Many angels responded. High Priest, I am Koran from the 8th universe. Koran suddenly said, I'm very sorry, Lord God of Destruction is ready, but Lord Kaishan has gone to the bathroom. Please come back later. The High Priest said. I'm very sorry. Koran said apologetically. Then, start gathering them. The High Priest said, spreading his arms and then closing them slightly. Luo Tian felt that his body seemed to be out of control at that time, and he was traveling through space in just a moment. Swish! By the time Luo Tian reacted, he had already appeared in the Temple of the Omni King. Luo Tian was extremely shocked. Is this the 95th level High Priest? He could actually transfer me to his side from such a long distance? It's really terrifying. If he were my opponent, I would definitely be beaten badly. The High Priest is so powerful. How powerful must the God of Time and Space Destruction be? That's a 100th level character. In addition, there is the demon realm called Demon, the guy of the King God. No wonder the little witch kept shouting that she wanted her brother to beat me up. If his brother really came to our world, I feel that 10 of me would not be enough for him to beat. Should I kill the little witch to silence her? At this moment, Luo Tian suddenly had a murderous thought in his heart. The little witch in Luo Tian's body seemed to feel something, and was frightened at the time, with horror written all over her cold and beautiful face. However, Luo Tian just thought about it, and then gave up the idea. Shua shua shua. Along with Luo Tian, there appeared angels, gods of destruction and kings from other universes. In addition, Broly and Bu also appeared behind Luo Tian. Xiao Ai was assigned to the third universe on her own. Bardock appeared on the side of the ninth universe. The kings and gods of destruction immediately knelt down and saluted, and the angels just bowed slightly. Bu lay there and slept soundly, still not waking up. In addition, in the seventh universe, in addition to the kings, there was also a great king. Seeing the great king kneeling beside him, the king was a little confused for a moment, turned his head and took a look, and then he was so excited that tears flowed down his face. "Master! Aren't you my master?" the great Kai King asked. The great Kai King smiled at him and put his hand on his lips, signaling him not to speak. The great Kai King nodded quickly, complaining in his heart. "Master, you are such a jerk, you didn't teach me anything. I have become a joke in the whole universe. Everyone, please raise your heads, let's wait for the eighth universe." The high priest ordered everyone present. At this time, all the gods present also looked at Sun Wukong, and then looked at Luotian and Broly. What is going on? It seems that Luotian and Broly don't know what happened. They were also teleported here. Broly was still scratching his head and kicked Bu. Bu was still snoring and couldn't be woken up at all. Broly had no choice but to let him continue sleeping. After seeing Sun Wukong, all the gods at the scene were a little confused. Isn't that Bardock's son? Why did he run to stand next to the Lord of All? And he seemed to be very familiar with the Lord of All. Finally I know why this guy can be a god of destruction.